And we are live. Welcome to, and I'll just move this up slightly, another episode of the Midweek Mix-Up podcast. This week, it is just myself, the General Cod. Sounds like a fish.
Oh well.
And Xbox Mick. Of course, we have, just to compensate for the overlay, it's only the three of us this week. But obviously we'll have fun. We shall have fun. A nice little stand-in avatar at the bottom there, Midweek Mix-Up podcast. But yes, it is just our three selves this week, but we have a lot to discuss. We're going to have some fun, and of course, everyone in the chat, I hope you enjoy it as well. But before we get into anything, chaps, barely making rent, hello! Finally made a live show. And appreciate it, brother. Hope you have a good night, and I hope you enjoy the show. Let's get into the introductions first and foremost. Mick, how are you doing today, brother? What you been up to?
Good man, yeah. I've got the rest of the week off work and a whole lot of Arkham Knights to play. So, yeah, I'm good.
Awesome stuff. And obviously we're going to get into your Arkham Knight impressions because, of course, it has received some rather mixed opinions across the board. So, be interesting to hear it firsthand, of course. How that game is, what it can improve on, what it does well, and so on and so forth. But yes, what else have you been up to? What else have you been playing?
Pretty much it. I'll be honest with you. I haven't played much apart from when we've been playing Sea of Thieves on the Sea of Tuesdays playcast.
Yes.
Every Tuesday. Yeah. Apart from that. I haven't really touched Sea of Thieves recently. We've got something I think coming in the next. I think there's a new event actually coming in the next couple of days. Actually, another. Yeah, the name has escaped me. I only read it last night just after we finished the stream.
Yeah.
But there's a new. I think it's a new choice. A bit like the Golden Sands thing where we have to choose, and the community, the end result changes the game. So that starts, I think, in a couple of days. So looking forward to going back to that. But in the meantime, not a lot else to do at the moment. So we've still got 4 weeks to go before the new season starts.
Is it called the Tavern of Terror?
That's, something like that, yeah. So
that must be a Halloween one, surely.
Apparently I'm really quiet, according to the chat. I don't know whether that's me or whether that's...
I don't know.
Sounds all right to me.
Very odd. It's all right on here as well. It's picking up fine. Maybe boost yourself on StreamYard.
I'll do that. So yeah, other than that, I haven't really been playing anything other than Gotham Knights, to be honest, at the moment. That's pretty much it.
Taking up all your time.
Yeah, I'm really enjoying it.
Good stuff. Next up, the General Cod. How are you doing today, brother? What you been up to? What you been playing?
Not too bad. Not been sleeping very well the last few nights, but I'll survive. Playing COD, obviously, most of the week, and actually today played a lot of Spider-Man. I'm getting closer to 100% in that again on PS5 this time though.
Yeah.
Yeah, so pretty much it really. Same as Mick. Been playing a bit of Sea of Thieves we used obviously yesterday. Really my gaming week is COD, bit of Spider-Man and Sea of Thieves.
Bless you, man. Bless you. I'm exactly the same, to be fair. I've played Sea of Thieves with you guys, and I've played a little bit of COD. Haven't really had much of a chance to play anything else. I've done quite a few overlays, some avatars. I've done just a lot of graphics work in the background. So, and to be fair, I've been having fun doing that. Especially, obviously, one thing I love about doing things like that and the graphic work, and I can understand why Sean loves doing it so much as well, Sean Lubery. It's because you see people's reactions to the stuff that you give them. That's class. When you see how happy they are with it. So, yeah, I love doing the graphic work, and of course, trying out new overlays and things. And I sent you guys a preview of what the Playcast 4-person overlay might look like as well. Yesterday, it might need a little bit of work yet to kind of figure out how to get it correctly working, because of course you can only have side by sides when you've got two windows open on desktop, as opposed to having multiple windows up at the same time. So I need to kind of figure that out to ensure it, so I don't have to highlight at the bottom to keep all streams going at the same time. But I'll figure it out. It's interesting to create these fancy overlays as well. Now, obviously, I want to try and help implement these type of things for you guys, or at least figure out a way of doing these things so it's easier to set up. Because, of course, the only problem is it's really finicky. It's a bit of a piss on getting this thing set up and resizing everything to fit into certain locations and putting overlays over certain things, and really friggin' fiddly. But once it's up and it's running, it's beautiful. It's just getting it there in the first place. And then, of course, the problem you've got there is the more things you've got running, the more can go wrong. So,
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I know how frustrating it can be, because I've made a lot of my own overlays, obviously using some of the assets that Sean Labree's made for me. I've just put it together and all that. I'm probably going to get something else done maybe sometime next year. Proper overlay.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. And of course, so far I've had the pleasure of doing Pat, Stipe, a little bit for Fantos, Studos, Perimpluk. I think that's it so far. Maybe
Amazing work it is.
And
Tim.
and yourself, Mick, as well, yeah. Just thinking about that, yeah. But it's good fun. I love doing it. Of course, I've done the intros for Asante as well, intro and outro for them. And of course, I do need to create a new one for them because it's a little bit different. Yes, Fanto. Yes, I've done one for you, a new one for you. Still need to send it to you though, but yeah. And new banner as well, of course. The one thing I wasn't sure whether or not you wanted a banner, because of course at the moment you've got your awesome kids on there. So, yeah. Other than that, chaps, we've got a lot of gaming news to get into, but of course, one of the bigger things out of this last week was, of course, the release of a certain Batman game that has been getting a lot of mixed. I wouldn't say mixed reviews, because the reviews were pretty average. It was more the consumer reviews, should we say? The hands-on that people have been playing. A lot of people have either enjoyed it, a lot of people thought it was meh, a lot of people are thoroughly enjoying it, and some people really dislike it. So, kind of mixed on the consumer front, but we do have one of our fellow panel members here who is currently playing it, so he'll give us a much better insight as to what to expect from the game and whether or not it is worth your time and money. Mick, you've been playing Gotham Knights. How are you finding it so far?
I am really enjoying it. I have to say I'm a big fan of all the old Batman Arkham games.
Yeah.
And when I first started playing it, it was, I would say, the first hour or so, I did think this isn't going to work for me. This is not Arkham. This is not as good. And I'd still stand by it's not as good as Arkham Knight. I still think Arkham Knight was, if they just made a 4K patch upgrade, you know, and the frame rate on Arkham Knight, it would be nearly a perfect game. It's just so good. I know you can do it obviously on PC, but on the Xbox, it's still running at 30, I think, or just over. But once I got through the first hour or so, the story really gets you, and the Court of Owls and everything story is great. And I know, General, you know all these stories. I don't. I'm not the biggest DC fan. I just like the Arkham games.
Court of Owls is probably one of my favorite enemy factions within the Batman sort of universe.
And I can see
rooted
why.
in a lot of what Gotham City is. Like the history with like Bruce Wayne's family as well. They're quite rooted into all that.
Yeah, so I can see why now I'm getting further into the story, and I can see why it's your favorite, because it is really good.
I love the DC universe, but it's unfortunately not been great.
My
movies.
My history with the DC universe has been the Arkham games, which I thought were great, and then I think I tried watching like Green Arrow on TV and Flash and a few other things, my camera's just frozen.
Yeah,
Can you still
Green
hear me?
Arrow and Flash, they both had strong starts, but after their like third seasons, they started to sort of go
Yeah.
down. And
It got a bit ridiculous. I'm sorry
I
about my
sort of-
camera; it's just packed in, so you can still hear me though, can't you?
Oh yeah, yeah,
Yep.
you're loud
Yeah,
and
yeah.
clear.
Okay, I'll see. I'll sort that out in a bit. But yeah, so it was. It's definitely for me in the DC universe. It's Batman and only Batman. I don't mind the Superman sort of films and stuff, but they don't really get me like Batman.
The
And
best
the
Superman film
Arkham-
in obviously recent years was the Henry Cavill one, and I'm glad he's
Yeah.
coming back.
I believe so. But in gaming, it's been Arkham Knight, and this game is not an Arkham game. And I think that's probably why a lot of the reviews have been what they've been, because I think a lot of those people. Oh, the bots are in the chat again. Here we go.
Mod Studos with his banhammers got that covered.
Yeah, good man, Stu. Thanks for that. So yeah, I would say that a lot of the reviews I think were probably like me, were expecting another very similar Arkham game, and it isn't. The combat is different, and at first, when you're first playing it, you kind of feel like, oh, I don't know when somebody's, you get that kind of. The Batman games have that kind of spider sense.
Yeah.
You know, when you get that sort of ding around your head and you know somebody's coming to hit you and you whack that Y button and Batman instantly counters it and puts them on the ground. And it's great. It feels good. This game doesn't do that the same way. It does it slightly differently in the fact that you have to be watching the different people that are around you. You know when they're going to attack because they do have a sort of marker that they're coming in to attack you, and you have to be looking for it rather than just have the thing over your head that tells you you're about to get attacked from somewhere.
Yeah.
So once you get over that Arkham style, just knowing when everything's coming for you and actually have to start looking at the fight and seeing where they're coming from, once you do that, actually it's better because you feel like you're actually more participating in the fight. So they come in at you from different angles and you don't always attack the guy that came from you. Sometimes you just step round him or under him, under the attack, and you carry on like beating somebody behind him, or the guy you were even attacking, you just sideswipe them. They go flying past, and you just keep beating on the guy that you were beating on, and it feels like a better way of the fighting. Just feels like actually, if I went to an Arkham game now, I would just feel like I'm not playing the game.
Yeah.
Because Batman is just unless mashing the X button, you just wait for that counter to come in, you just tap it, and then you move on. You keep mashing the X button. This one feels more like if I don't pay attention, I'm going to get my ass handed to me, and it feels better for it. So I think that's probably why a lot of the reviews were like they were. Also, I think the aesthetic of Arkham was, it was kind of that kind of really run down. I mean, you've seen Arkham games. Everything's completely
Dark and gritty.
Dark and gritty. This is a bit more neon lights, and there are civilians. This is a living city.
Yeah.
There aren't many of them. There's not a tremendous amount of people, although they do quite like to jump in front of you when you're on the bat bike.
To be honest, it's Gotham City. You don't really want to be wandering around Gotham City.
So yeah, it is more like, and I kind of imagine it a bit more like the original Batman films, where there are people walking around. The place is still pretty dark and dangerous, but there are people walking the streets, and they're not all bad guys, So it's just a different aesthetic. Once you get over that, though, and you start, like I say, getting into get the combat nailed down, and start getting into the story, it's really good. It's really good, and I'm really enjoying it and looking forward to going back to it tomorrow. I've got a few days off now. Like I said before, I'm going to be playing this game until I've completed it, I think now, because I want to know what happens.
Have you had any chance to play any of it in co-op with anyone?
I haven't yet. No, me and Intrepid Ghost, Luke Law, have said that we're going to team up at some point because he's a big fan of the game as well. And I'm looking forward to jumping in because obviously he's out in, I think he's out LA way. something like that.
Mhm.
So he's obviously in a slightly different time zone to us. So I think with me being off, that's going to help because I'll probably be up when he's when he's still, gaming at night. So yeah, that's the plan for this week. I think I'm going to try and jump into
I'll
some
have
of
to.
that and give it a try.
I'll have to have a word with you about that when you get a chance to play some co-op because I'm interested to see
Yes.
how that is.
Yeah. I will.
That's
actually,
really one of the main reasons why I will pick it up when I do pick it up is for the co-op.
Yeah. And the camera came back on.
Hey, there we go.
So yeah, I'm enjoying it. The frame rate is obviously the big debate with this game. It's for me. I know some people say that they're having a bit of a problem, frame rate wise. I don't notice it as much. I did when I first started, but once I got used to the 30, it's all right. I'd still like it to be 60, ideally, but I feel like it's quite a constant. It doesn't dip any lower than 30, so you don't get that horrible. When the frame rate drops, and when especially when it's 30 frames and it drops to 25 or 24 or something.
Oh yeah, and you
You
notice the drop.
really see it rather than when it's at 60 and you drop to 57. It's like, I don't really notice that.
Yeah.
Not really a thing. But when it's at like 30 and it drops to 25, suddenly you really see it. I actually haven't seen any sort of big dips for me personally. I know
Franto has a
people
question about that.
Go
He
for
says, "Does VRR help with the night game?"
Right. So one of the caveats I was gonna say was I am playing this on an an LG OLED. So the question is, am I getting such a good experience because of the TV?
Hmm.
I couldn't tell you because I haven't tried playing it. Maybe I should try and do that tomorrow actually, and just try and play it on my second screen. Which actually no, that won't work because that's got G-Sync as well. I'd have to go and play it in the living room on the other telly
Right.
and try it there and see whether it works better there, not as well there. If we talk about this next week, I'll come back to you and we'll mention
Talk
that
back
and
to you
I'll
with
try it,
technical
but-
aspects. Yeah.
Yeah, but to be fair, like say, if any of you out there have got LG OLED TVs with the V Sync, the G Sync and everything on it,
Yeah.
it was a bit of a game changer when I bought it, and I realised I shouldn't have had to spend 1,500 quid on a telly
Yeah.
just to get games to run as well as they do on it.
Yeah.
I remember one of the first games that I played when I got that telly was Rage.
Yeah.
Rage 2. That game ran like crap. That was an awful game for frame rate. Every time anything slightly explosive happened, the frame rate dropped into the ground. It had an update, but it still wasn't great. When I played it on this telly,
Yeah.
it worked fluid.
Yeah.
And I remember thinking, oh, all it took was 1,500 quid to get this game to run properly.
So this is one thing as well
So-
that I kind of recommend people to do, especially if they want a lot of the next gen performances and aren't too bothered about resolution, is look maybe into more a gaming monitor.
Yes.
Because you get a lot of all of them benefits, but without the price tag. Of course, one of the things people are going to have to make a compromise on, unless they want to spend TV money on a good monitor, is resolution.
Yeah.
Of course, going for a
HDR as well.
yeah. Well, even then, a lot of monitors now, like mine's HDR, but you take the hit. So mine's 4K HDR, but it up to I think it's up to 120 frames. You can get them higher. The HDR is their version of HDR on this monitor, so it's good enough. It's not like the true HDR as it is, but it recognizes it on the console. So it's a compromise. However, you can get other monitors that are like 2K, 240 hertz, or 2K 120 hertz with VRR, with FreeSync and G-Sync. So, and again, both Xbox Series X and Xbox Series S both support 2K output, like native 2K output. So again, you'll still get those unbelievable performance gains, and in terms of an image quality perspective, you're not going to notice that the downgrade. You're still going to get all the fancy bells and whistles and everything like that. So, yeah, as
I
you
would definitely
mentioned,
recommend a gaming monitor. They
yeah,
are cheaper. They do almost as good as a TV. Some of them.
yeah. And again, it's far as
Half,
Mick
more
pointed
than
out.
half the cost sometimes.
Yeah, as Mick pointed out, he's 1,500 quid later to get
Yeah,
that to work
yeah.
properly.
Just to get some games to run at 60 frames,
Yeah.
nice and smoothly. Yeah,
Definitely,
Stupid.
definitely.
Just going back though briefly, just to say on a whole though, if you've got the money and you like the Batman games, I'd recommend the game. But if you sort of on the fence, just wait for a sale. But even then, I'd get it when it goes on a sale. You will enjoy it if you like the Batman games.
I'll Call of Duty instead.
Yeah, and if anyone wants to, give me some Call of Duty, that'd be great. And I'm hoping that Marion looks like he's drawn a winner for the thingy. I've got my fingers crossed for that.
I'm gonna give it quick shout out as well. Obviously, Boxenberger jumped in the chat earlier. He sent a €2 super chat. We'll just go back to it there. It says, "Have an awesome show with the best community." Yeah, Boxenberger, unfortunately, and thank you for that, bro. He's oh dear God, we've lost our edition here. I'll fix that in a moment.
No, we've lost the guest.
We've lost our guest, which is myself. I'll get that back. We'll get this overlay sorted. Yeah, one of the
If you had half your face painted, Mick, you'd look a bit like Two-Face there.
I did try and go for the spooky look with the lantern and everything, but as soon as the screen came on, it lit my face up. It was like just all dark a minute ago.
Yeah, so thanks for that, Boxy. He's been stuck at work and things all day, and then he's had to have his car fixed, and he's had a right rigmarole. So, yeah, so just getting that sorted for him. But that he'll be back again next week. There we go. Right, we've got our temporary guest coming down here. Device is not connected naturally because, of course, I don't need to connect it. Dear God. Oh no, I've got mute. There we go.
Drum roll from Sudos for Marion's
There we go. We better. Well, that's not going to work. I'll sort that out in a minute. We'll do a quick drum roll while I figure this out in the background. Yes.
You're muted, Mick.
There we go. Oh, nope.
That's weird. I'm not muting that. It's muting itself.
That was me, because I was trying to unmute you and you were unmuting yourself as well, so it was going round in circles. Oh, that's funny. Yeah, so we do have a winner, actually. It's quite hilarious. Because the first winner we drew was Geordie from Complete Xbox. Geordie gracefully, the other day mentioned he'd literally, after entering, he actually ended up picking the game up. So he said, if it lands on me, redraw. So that's exactly what we did. We redrew. Oh, let's turn that down now. Jesus Christ. There we go. So yeah, we redrew it. Stop it. God, this has been a pain in the arse now. So yeah, we redrew that, and better.
What? Am I reading that right?
Yes, you are. Xbox Mick is the winner of Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 on Xbox. This isn't, yeah. Believe it or not, chaps, this isn't. It was done by a live draw. Marion picked up all of the tweets that were underneath there, put it into a draw, a live draw thing, and it picked out both Geordie first. Then when he redrew it, of course, it picked up Xbox Mick. So, congratulations, Mick. Modern Warfare 2 is yours on Friday.
Well, I tell you what, because
take a trip to New Zealand.
Yeah, I was going to say, I will probably donate that to Chris because I know that him and his missus like playing it together. but the advantage is I can still play it via his account.
Ah,
So if you're watching, Chris, I will give the code to you, and then you can play it with your missus, and then I can just log in as you and play it. So thank you very much. So cheers, Marion. Thank you.
very generous. Awesome stuff. Awesome stuff.
Wow. Wow, I'm just a bit blown away by that. Thank you very much.
No, thank you for taking part, of course. But yes, I'm gonna have to just.
Right, we should
hide
probably
this.
carry on with the show now.
Yeah. Well, 100%.
Nick's booking his flight to New Zealand as we speak.
There we go. That's better. I can't hear myself now. Yeah, so this is a workaround, of course, whilst we've only got 3 panel members, which is why I've been a bit weird the last couple of minutes there whilst that was getting drawn. I was trying to get a fake account in the background there. But, yes, we have it. We've got it sorted. Yes. So congratulations to Mick and, let's say, actually Chris on winning the giveaway there. Thank you very much to Marion the Mad, of course, for facilitating this out of his own pocket, of course. It was his idea, so congratulations to Mick, and thank you again once more to the generosity of Marion the Mad. Much appreciated. And, of course, we still have one more giveaway ongoing. Of course, we have the awesome God of War giveaway in conjunction with Framer Game, which will be getting announced on. Let's have a look here. When's the next time we do a show? So, yeah. So the entries finish on the 31st, so the end of this month, which is Monday. So we will draw the winner on next week's podcast on the 2nd. So if everyone wants to tune in on the 2nd, next week's episode of Midweek Mix-Up, the winner for the God of War and Framer Game contest will be announced then. That's another big one, of course. So yes, thank you again, guys. But let's get back onto the topics, because Mick, of course, I know you're really enjoying the game, but I want to hear the bad things about it that you would wish had changed so far, or wish they would change.
I obviously didn't buy an Xbox Series X to play at 30 frames, so I do wish they'd just given us. They're blaming the co-op for the lack of 60 frames.
Yeah.
But I would argue that 90% of people, maybe even more, are probably playing this on their own.
Yeah.
At least most of the time. And I just feel like they could have just separated it out. If they want to do a co-op mode that then gives you a disclaimer, runs at 30 frames when you're in co-op mode, but then gives you a single player mode where you can't join anyone that runs at 60, that would have fixed the problem for most people, I think.
Yeah.
I think the biggest issue is the fact they decided to go untethered co-op. What co-op game is untethered?
Yeah, I mean, even Halo Infinite gets grief, for being, for not having the co-op. But this is exactly the reason why Halo Infinite has not come out with the co-op, is because they don't want people on 2 sides of the map doing all different missions at the same time. But you're right. How many people join a co-op game and then bugger off to the other side of the island?
Not many. Most people are sticking together. If you're playing a co-op game, you're playing a co-op game. You're there to play in the same space as your friend, not, oh, we're both playing 2 separate games here. What's the point? In that case, you might as well just be playing a single player game if you're never going to see your mate.
You might as well just be playing it on your own.
You can be playing it with your
co-op.
You can be playing it with your friend, and you can both never ever encounter each other in the game. It's like, okay, who plays co-op for that? What the hell? It's just comedic to me at that point.
But what makes me laugh is that the PC specs are for 60 frames at a lower resolution, obviously, but I think we're all okay with, yes, if we want 60 frames, then lower the resolution. That's fine. But the resolution, like the specs for PC, are something like a 1660 Ti. That's nearly a 10-year-old graphics card.
Crazy. Weird. I don't understand it.
it doesn't make any sense. Their own argument beats, their own specs beat their own argument.
It just seems like a hell of a lot of excuses they're making. If a lower end graphics card can run it at a minimum and achieve 60 FPS,
Yeah,
what's your excuse for not doing the exact same on console?
it doesn't make any sense. It's not, like I said before, it's not
A console
the biggest.
It's more
problem.
powerful than that graphics card in particular, should I say?
It's not the biggest problem. It's a good solid 30 for me anyway. Like I said, might be because of the TV. I can't tell you that for sure. So those people that are experiencing more problems might be because they're not on a TV that does VRR, does G-Sync. So maybe that's it. But for me, it's a solid 30. It stays at that thing. And once you get used to it, you don't notice it anywhere near as much. When you're in the single player bits, which are there are sort of like story mode bits that take you out of the main world and you're inside buildings. And they run, if they're not at 60 frames, they're nearly at 60 frames. They're really, really smooth. And you notice that then when you go back to the open world, then is when you notice that the frame rate's dropped, because those bits inside the buildings are definitely higher than 30 frames. And I would say that that's probably the biggest problem I have with this game, is that it's not consistent in the fact that you go into there are quite a few of these missions. Obviously, they're basically the main storyline missions. You go into them and suddenly everything, you very quickly get used to 60 frames when you're not, I'm going to say 60. It might not be exactly 60, but it's definitely more than 30. But for the argument's sake, let's say 60.
Yeah.
So you go into these single player mode bits, it hits 60, you very quickly think, oh, this feels really good. And then once you've played it, and they're not short, so you play it for quite a bit. Some of these missions, I did one today, obviously no spoilers, but I'm inside this big hotel. And obviously, without spoiling anything, we all know the Court of Owls are in this game. So it's a big bit inside this hotel with the Court of Owls. And once you get back out, then you notice that suddenly the frame rate's dropped. And it would almost be better if they didn't change the frame rate and just kept it at a steady 30 when you're in them sections, because you only notice the frame rate drop when you come out of them. So it's nice to have those sections in a sort of 60 frames smooth mode, but it does kind of emphasize the bit when you get out of it more. So that's probably my only big problem with it, is that. Oh, I tell you, the other bit is the bat bike. The bat bike is not great, but then the vehicles in these games don't tend to be great anyway. But the bat bike,
the Batmobile wasn't great.
It was all right.
It was all right.
The good news,
Respect on the Batmobile.
the good news, Mick, is you've got a friend. You've got a friend in BitCloud who's also been playing
You've been
through
playing it as well.
Not the way it played in Arkham Knight. It wasn't great.
Yeah, I mean,
all right.
Using it to charge generators, yeah, it was kind of forced.
Yeah.
Weird,
I didn't mind it when it changed into the tank and you could move in any direction. That was quite good.
Shooting rubber bullets though, like the rubber, shooting enemies with the same turret gun.
With the non-lethal rounds with a 100 mil cannon round. You're like, all right, yeah.
I'm like,
really
those kill. Those clearly kill. And then you run them over, and then you get the shock wheels. Run into them. It's like,
I mean, this game's not much better, because my little girl was watching me play this. I kicked a guy off the building, and she's like, "Oh, are you killing these people?" I'm like, "No, they're all fine," and they are all fine.
Yeah,
but
some of these stealth takedowns, when you pull them down, they literally fall face first 3 stories, y'all. They're dead.
It's one of them non-lethal chucking off a building maneuvers. Yeah, okay.
They're dead.
But yeah,
they're fine. Cuts to them in a hospital bed, full body cast.
Yeah, intensive care.
Bullseye,
probably in
Bullseye
a coma.
from Daredevil. He's like Bullseye.
Yeah, exactly. So that would be my biggest flaw with the game, would be just literally those coming out of those single player, well, not single player, but those internal level bits where you're inside buildings. It
You-
goes from
you do that?
being really smooth, certainly higher frame rate than 30.
Yeah,
Then you go back into the open world, and suddenly you realize you're back in a 30 frames world,
yeah.
and that's when you notice it. Other than that, I'm not having, and the back bike, I'm not having any problems. I just enjoy it. It's a good game.
Yeah, I've seen in the chat as well, Joanna Dark is being playing it on PC. He's got a Ryzen 9 5900X and a 3090 Ti, and he said he has stutter issues on that game. So it seems like there is issues with it on PC as well. Big
Yeah.
Cloud, I know you had it early because you had a chance to no doubt review it, I would imagine. Yep. You've platinumed it as well, because I did see that the other day. So you've been on a platinum roll with a lot of games recently.
A lot.
But
Over 200 now, which is crazy.
what are your thoughts on it as well? Because I know you said it was like
So
go on.
I had it, obviously I had it early. So a lot of stuff that you guys are playing now, like mixed on my, like some of the stuff that he's playing and dealing with, it's a little smoother now than it was when we had it, because it was a lot more buggy than that.
Yeah.
Frame rate was terrible on the motorcycle completely. Like the game was running, it felt like the game was running at 15 frames on the motorcycle at times. And I was playing this with a friend, Hunter. He also was with me in the world, and in the midst of playing the game, how do I go about this? So hold on, make sure he says I'm low.
I've just boosted you up a bit there.
Okay, but in the midst of the world and how they handled it, so the world is pretty much lifeless for the most part. There's not really much going on with the world. Not a whole lot of NPCs in there, unless they're tied to like street crimes. Then you'll run into some people, and that's pretty much it. You know what I mean? You don't really see anybody, and then you'll start noticing things like if you start walking around on barefoot, like walking around through the city, you don't see cars and stuff like that show up, right? Like it's just normal, like a dead game. But
Yeah.
when you call the motorcycle, all of a sudden cars start just popping into the world, and NPCs, the few that do show up, disappear altogether, and you have that type of thing you deal with within the game. So there was clearly some issues with the CPU with this game. Like this game is clearly heavily like CPU intensive, and what's wild about it is that this game was originally on PS4 and Xbox One, and they cut it from those consoles. You know what I mean? So the fact that they cut it from those, and they can't guarantee you at least a lock 30, is pretty scary on next gen consoles. You know, and I know a lot of people were doing the comparisons. They were showing off Arkham Knight, they were showing off Arkham City, and it's like, yeah, it's pretty bad that a team like Rocksteady could do that on some very super limited hardware, and we got some of the best story-driven Batman games that we could possibly ask for. Like it was really well done. Even the parts with the Batmobile, like how seamless they made it when you pull up to Wayne Tower and you park the Batmobile and it like goes underground, all that cool stuff. They thought about everything like piece by piece. There's nothing like that in Gotham Knight. Now, I felt like they were trying to do like, you guys ever seen the Teen Titans? You ever heard of Teen Titans?
Nope.
The old
Yep.
comic
Jen
or
has.
the show. It felt like they were trying to do Teen Titans for the most part when it came to this game. And to some people, they might be going, "Oh, well, that's not really, that doesn't really make sense." Well, when you play it, you're not in you're not in the Batcave.
Yeah.
I mean, the Batcave is no more. You're in the Belfry. The Belfry is basically Titan Tower. It overlooks the city. It's the tower. You know what I mean? And that's where you're at. There, you can clearly see that they didn't think a lot of stuff through, especially for combat. Now, executions, takedowns, those are really cool in terms of the animations. That's really cool. That's some of the best they've done. But when it comes to combat, it's completely broken, especially when you use weapons that have elemental abilities and you get legendary variants of those. Once you get to the legendary versions of those, you can pretty much break the combat. You can create frost buildup or fire buildup, incinerate your opponents or freeze them, and do ridiculous damage and break anything in this game. So you really are, you never feel like you're really have anything to worry about as you progress throughout the game. The Court of Owls were the best part about the game until they were no longer useful, I guess, to the writer of the game, because they get pushed aside for a character that you see early on. And at that point, I mean, as soon as that character is introduced, you kind of know where the story is going to go. Like the first, like what, chapter in the game, you kind of already can piece together how it's either going to end, and it ends exactly like that. So it's like there was just nothing, no surprise with the story, in my honest opinion, with it at all. But Court of Owls, the
I
one
know
thing I can
Mick's
say
looking
good about
forward to
Court
getting
of
to that
Owls,
part, so I'd see.
I'm a good few chapters in. I haven't figured that out, but then I don't have any back knowledge of the Court of Owls. So for
And
me,
see,
it's kind of like,
here's the
I
funny
don't know.
thing. I'm not even talking about the Court of Owls. See, the Court of Owls are there, sure, they're highlighted there, but all you have to do is go to chapter one. Go back to chapter one.
Is it a female
Yeah,
character?
yeah, uh-huh.
Yeah. Okay.
It's got to be to do with
There you go. You already pieced together what's going to happen.
Ra's al Ghul, Talia al
no,
Ghul, the League
no.
of Shadows or League of Assassins. And
It involves that, but just not race. there's your ending. So when you see that, you're like, okay, well, this is not really great, you know. And the funny thing is, a lot of people might think I have like hate towards WB Montreal or WB GameStop. I actually thought WB Montreal delivered a solid Batman game with Origins.
Yeah.
I actually like the story for Origins. I really like the story for that. I thought that was really, really good. And combat, they actually did okay, aside from the shock gloves. I thought the shock gloves kind of broke the combat when you unlock those, but it was cool. Like they added their own little spin to it, and it worked. But this one, I just felt like they lost their way. Traversal was not good in the game whatsoever. Only 2 characters can glide like Batman would do, which is silly. I don't understand how you can have a Batman game and not have everybody glide.
I have to say the Red Hood's bouncing through the air thing
It's stupid. It breaks immersion.
It's stupid.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but I quite enjoy just bouncing around. It's daft. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
But it's quite good. The Batwing thing, the Batwing's glider took me about 20 minutes to figure out that I could actually glide straight. I didn't realize you could pull up and it would go up. I kept just jumping and just going down to the ground. I thought this glide is useless. It's just landing on the ground. Well, I could jump that far anyway, and then I realized you could pull up.
Yeah, you can pull up like on the lever, but they don't tell you this, which is the stupid thing. They don't tell you this. They think you just drop at those satellite there. They don't tell you, so it's even more stupid in that regard. And Lucius Fox is wasted in this game, man. I really feel like he's just wasted. Like you know, when you played the Arkham games, you're like, okay, Lucius Fox had like meaning and purpose. You know, he's there. He's giving you all the upgrades. You know, you go there for different suits, or you just go there for better gear. He'll give you some new rewards. This game, you're just going to him. You're doing these little checklists of stuff, and he just like goes. He rewards you with a few legendary options or better options, but he doesn't give them to you for free or anything like that. You have to still have to craft these. So he's kind of pointless in the game. And the fact that you're doing missions for Penguin, people, of all people, we're doing missions for Penguin, fetch quest for Penguin.
Yeah,
it's like I'm not a fan of it. The Bat Cycle it's cool until you just realize how stupid and inconvenient this damn thing just pops up, especially in certain boss fights. That's a certain boss fight that happens. Like, you mean to tell me this thing really is just invisible, roaming the city? No, it doesn't make sense. It looks like it's made out of nanotech. Like he just snaps a finger and it does some Iron Man effect and it materializes. Like, no, it looks stupid, man. I'm just not. I wasn't too big on it. But that was me. I mean, I thought they did Batman terrible in the game too. Batman's not intimidating. He doesn't sound intimidating. He doesn't look intimidating at all. I mean, when you look at Rocksteady's version of him, especially in Arkham Knight, when he puts on the army suit, Dutch, you're like, oh, I'm fucking scared of him. I don't want no problems with this guy. You know what I mean? This version of Batman, you're like, this has got to be like the most generic look for a Batman suit I've ever seen. But anyway, that's it for me. You know, so if you're I guess a diehard Batman fan, you might find some enjoyment of it. If you want to play this game with a friend and like, you know, go for all the trophies or just play through a single player seamlessly, I think it does do a good job of that. But That's really it. I mean, it doesn't offer anything else new to the table. If you think the combat's on the level of the free flow, I think it's called free flow system
Yeah.
of the Arkham series. No, it's not on the same level. In fact, the free flow system was a lot more fluid than this. This one has a terrible camera that's kind of like stuck on you, and you have to like maneuver it. You know what I mean? To see who's throwing stuff at you. And since it's at 30 FPS, it makes dodging like projectiles when they give those little indicator like the straight line. Make what I'm talking about. It makes that right there a little tough to dodge at times because you might hit it. You might press circle to dodge early, thinking you hit it, and then you still get hit. It's not fluid. It's not fast to what you would think. So that's it for me. I'm like destroying this game, but nah,
Yeah,
I would say get it.
You see that line with the projectiles, and you have to leave it to the last second before.
Yeah,
you
I know.
dodge, otherwise, they just train across and shoot you anyway.
And it's like the game stutters for a second and speeds up, and then you know what I mean. And the projectile just immediately comes up, so you don't have a chance to dodge again. It's just that's how it does. I will say that I would say get it on sale. This game, I would definitely say I don't think it's worth $70, especially at 30 FPS. I don't think so, especially no $80 deluxe edition. No, not for no 30 FPS, not for this story, and not for these characters. And I'm surprised Mick didn't bring up the characters in this game. The personalities of these characters. I don't know if you can piece together what their personalities really are, Mick. It's basically the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Their personalities. It pretty much is. You know what it is. You know what it is. You got Raphael the Hothead, aka Red Hood. Yeah, Leonardo is Nightwing. Them two fight all the time. You got Donatello, aka Batgirl, and who's the brains, and then you got
I can't unsee that now.
Yeah, and you got Robin, who's the kid, who's the goofy kid. That's it. That's basically their personality.
You've ruined it for me now. I'm not going to play this.
That's basically their personality.
Yeah,
I kid you not.
You just sold it to General C now. That's it now. you were trying to talk us out of it, but you've just sold it to this man right here.
No. If anything, he's done the opposite. I am out. If I want a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles game, I'd rather play a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles game.
That's basically how their personalities are. Not even 5 minutes of the game, you got Red Hood and let's say Leonardo, but you got Red Hood and Nightwing literally going at each other's throats, fighting each other, like that tension. Then there's like missions with Nightwing. I don't know if Mick did it, where like you go in the open world. It's like you go to his little symbol in the world, and you might see Red Hood on top of a building. Literally, Red Hood pushes him off a building, like the two are bickering. You gotta go there. It's basically that. That's basically their whole thing.
Those calls them Teenage Mutant Ninja Bat Kids.
There you go.
We've got two super chats back to back from Mr. Joanna Dark, $4.99 and $1.99. Thank you, sir. And two questions. Do you think Gotham Knights is a victim of scope or a set vision? Is the departure of the founders of Rocksteady a result of this? And do we have high hopes for Suicide Squad? That's yeah.
After what I've seen with Suicide Squad and just seeing how Rocksteady handles this particular world and the gameplay compared to this, I'm very excited for Suicide Squad. I think Rocksteady's going to knock it out the park with it, especially when you got the movies to.
Wasn't it announced today that someone or two people left Rocksteady?
Yeah, the founders.
I think so.
Important people as well.
Yeah, but I think they're
makes
fine.
Me worried.
I think they're fine. I know. Yeah, that is worrisome though. But I think they're going to be fine with that particular one. It's just I don't know. It's never good. Yeah,
I wouldn't be worried about people leaving studios. We see people moving all the time.
Contractors.
I mean, exactly. And we saw people leaving, Sony Santa Monica when
there you go. And we still got one of the best games.
Nobody's worrying about God of War.
No.
Yeah. You know what I mean? So these people.
It's just probably contracts was up. It's probably was just contractual. Like something was up, and they just probably didn't want to renew their contract, or they just signed on for another. Yeah,
they've done the job that they needed to do. That part of the game is done. Apart from maybe a couple of people who stay behind to just keep tweaking it, they move on and they go and do something else.
Yeah, I was going to say people like studio.
How they are. Contractors
just change all the time.
I was like saying
that's why contractors bounce from team to team to team, or different different companies to companies. So that's why usually when a contractor signs on to, like in this case, let's say Rocksteady, they're usually looking for their next gig in the midst of working on this. So more than likely, like we just said, like the contract was up, and let's just say that person is probably going to, I don't know, Haven Studios or, you know,
Yeah, but wasn't it
343. You know what I mean? Like
wasn't one of
that's
the
how it
people that
works. They
left
go there.
Oh, it was both.
someone?
Yeah, it was
I'm pretty
both the
sure he's the studio
founders.
founder.
It was both the founders. Yeah, I would say it on that aspect as well. It's they've been there a long time. They've already got project leads, project managers. They've
They
got
retired.
everybody looking
Yeah.
after it. They're just kind of managing the studio from above, as opposed to getting hands on with it. So even at that point, like if it was, for instance, the founder of CDPR kind of shifted
Yeah.
aside, but we're not really bothered about that because we know the studio are still going to do a cracking job, and I think it's exactly the same. I think they'll be getting to a point
They're
in
probably gonna
there.
be advisors, you know. Now, like
Yeah.
they leave like that lead of power, and they go to like a board / advisor type of role where they oversee, help future leader. Maybe that's what they're going to do. It's hard to really say, but it is, you know, it's just one of those things you got to take note of, especially with contractors and just how things happen
Yeah.
with them. As far as like, is it a victim of scope or a set vision? I mean,
I think the
honestly, this
untethered
game originally-
multiplayer section, absolutely, because I
Yeah.
think it wasn't required. Like,
Yeah.
untethered multiplayer is
Not just
pointless.
that, though. And not
I
just
asked
that,
Nick
though,
earlier
too,
actually, and I'll ask you, BitCloud. Have you had a chance to play it co-op?
co-op, yeah, played it with a friend. Yeah,
How does it play co-op?
co-op, it was fine. It's just when we were playing it early on, like during the 8 days before launch, we did run into that. Like, so how do I explain? It's like, okay, combat, it handled okay, right? But when it came to us getting around the city, when we called the motorcycle, and you do like, you know, you do those like sharp turns with the motorcycle, like with the car, you know what I'm saying, like back and forth. I was doing this to test the frame. I was like, boom, I was doing this back and forth with my analog stick, and the frames were dropping to like 12. And my
No.
friend Hunter did it, and his game crashed altogether.
Nice.
So we were having
Damn.
issues like that. You know, I'm like that's how bad the framer were. It got to the point where like, you know what? Let's limit how many times we use this damn motorcycle. And then we started just grapple hooking, going to the objectives and whatnot. And it was like that type of thing. But it's cool. It's a lot better now since the patch happened, because it was a patch like 2 days before you guys got it on release.
Yeah.
So it was there. So that was pretty much our day one patch for those that got it day one. But it was fine for that regard. We did, you know, play. The thing is though, after like that hour or two, whatever of us playing, we never did co-op again on that, because he was like, dude, I'm not playing this game. I'm done. This game is terrible.
Yeah.
So I've stuck with it. I was like, you know, let me just see if maybe there's some gems. You know, you never know, because sometimes just there be good stories hidden behind terrible gameplay or designs or something. And I just didn't find it, honestly, in
Yeah.
the game. I just didn't find it.
That's
So,
fair. To me, it sounds, and this is, we have to speak about Halo's version of co-op, because the reason the co-op was delayed so heavily was because they were looking at untethered co-op, where people could just go
Mhm.
elsewhere and do X, Y, and Z, and they decided, which is why it was delayed so heavily, to just go back to tethered and just try and stretch the distance out a bit. And of course, what we've
Mhm.
seen from this Gotham Knights is that the untethered has meant a drastic drop in performance on consoles down to 30 frames, which is their
Yep.
excuse for not having it at 60 frames on console. Again, if something like that is going to affect performance, then don't have it untethered. Like, surely you could just have the distance a little bit longer. Like, as
My
we
thing
were saying
is they
before,
should have had a
BitCloud,
separate
like,
mode.
you
Yeah.
like when you're playing co-op, you're not going to go to the opposite side of the city to your friend, because otherwise you'd just be playing single player.
That's the thing too. You would think they have an option strictly for single player so that you can get the performance.
Yeah.
They don't even offer that. It's like everything's so seamless. So once you create your player card on your game, whatever, and let's say you just connected to one person once, or you just created, like you just go to social and set your player card, you can get raided by some random dude who just joins your game anytime they want. It happened to me when I was paused. Dude was shooting at me on the motorcycle. He's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "Dude, what the hell are you doing in my world? I didn't fight this guy. I just kicked him." And then it happens. It happens.
Yeah, I don't think I'd enjoy that.
Yeah.
That's fair. That's fair. So yeah, just it's unfortunate, and hopefully the studio learns from this going forward. But
Yeah.
hey, it is what it is. It is what it is. We're going to jump into the next topic now. Of course, Mix.
Yeah, super chat.
Mix.
You have two.
Oh, there's a super chat there as well.
Yeah, you have two. from Joanna Dark.
Oh, another one. Sweet. Um,
Yes.
Sweet. So with James Gunn, okay, 199 super chat. Thank you very much, Mr. Joanna Dark. He says, "Do you think we get a Superman game with James Gunn?"
I would be with it. We're getting up there, Dutch. We got Iron Man coming. You never
Yeah.
know if they can nail the flying,
Yeah.
open world. You might get it. You might.
I think
get
it's tough to do a Superman game without him being OP. He needs
Well-
to be, if you're gonna do it, he needs to be fighting people using magic, people that are exactly the same as him, like space level threats, like Dark Side.
Yeah.
To have it be a Superman game and it be grounded to Earth only would
How
not be
about the
something I'd even
injustice?
be interested in.
How about the injustice, but without the actual like versus thing? You know what I mean? Like have it do like a legit story, like the comic of Injustice. You start out as good Superman, you know, things go wrong, and then you become the dictator. And you're fighting the Lantern Corps.
That's the
you're
thing,
fighting-
we've seen
Yeah.
so many, and that's the reason why they do well, is because he's bad in those stories. And he
That's what I'm saying.
can get
It
away
would be
with it.
badass. You can play the evil Superman.
Evil
I don't know
Superman.
if I want to, as personally as a DC fan, I don't know if I want to keep seeing that, oh, Superman has to be bad to be a good character thing. And I've called this out before, like Superman is potentially the
still-
greatest villain of all time because of how powerful he is if he was a villain. And we've obviously got that, and we're getting that again in Suicide Squad in a way, only he's controlled by Brainiac.
Yeah, unless you do some, I don't know, unless you do something crazy like they pull like the veil over your eyes type thing, like they think you're playing as Superman, but then it's Bizarro, and then the real Superman comes out, and you have to fight the guy that you were playing as through the game, and you restore order or something. I don't know. That'd be cool.
I don't know. I just think a Superman game would be very hard to pull off, and without the fact that every villain or street level thug would have to have kryptonite to just be able to do a little bit of damage to him.
Yeah.
I don't know. Just have to. It depends on how you go. I mean, obviously Lex Luthor will be there, but it just
I feel like that's the reason
Metallo.
why a Superman game hasn't come into existence. I mean, we've heard so many rumors that Rocksteady were working on a Superman game, and that was obviously not true. But
It probably was like on the drawing board. They probably said that, you know what it was. They probably did talk about it, like in the drawing board, like, you know, ideas for it, like how we do it. But if we count the hardware that we had at the time, it probably wasn't practical to do a Superman game at that time. Like they could have done like on the console that they had that time, they could have done Captain America justice.
Yeah.
Rocksteady. You know what I mean? Now we have so many more resources to push superheroes in many ways. Like people are asking for Doctor Strange. A lot of people love to see Ant-Man, Captain America. I would love to see Captain America get like a badass like action game or Punisher or something. You know, it's a lot of characters that can really like be amplified through games. Even Spawn. I think Spawn is like it's like a guilty pleasure that a lot of us would really like to see too after the Mortal Kombat DLC. But one could dream. One could dream.
I think a Superman game could happen, but it can't be set on Earth. It needs to be space-based, planet-to-planet sort of story. And
I agree with that, yeah.
big threats like Darkseid and other big villains that can damage Superman, people using magic like Black Adam. As we all know, Superman's
like
other
something
weakness
with
other than
time travel.
kryptonite is magic.
Yeah. Unless it's something like time travel. Unless like he got like pushed forward in time. You ever seen that show? You remember that the anime Samurai Jack? Remember like he got pushed in that alternate timeline or whatever?
Long time
Imagine
ago,
that. Yeah, man. Remember that joint? Maybe he did something like that. Like he fought Brainy, or not Brainiac, but Darkseid, and like went to an alternate time, and everybody's pretty much dead, and it's like, you know what I mean? It's dark, and everybody's not human. It's something like that. Maybe that can work, but you have to make it practical. You know what I mean? You have to do it right. So it's possible, man.
Yeah.
What's up, Tim?
But yeah, another one to fit to whilst we're still on the topic of superhero games. Of course, today we got the introduction there of Midnight Suns, a little bit new info and a couple more characters. Of course, introducing both Venom and unfortunately Morbius.
Are you throwing Morbius on? He's throwing Morbius to the sharks after that god awful movie.
Yeah, Morbius. So Morbius has been added to Midnight Suns. Of course, we know Midnight Suns. I think the style of game anyway is going
I'm
to.
no longer interested in Midnight Suns just because they put Morbius.
But
Jared
it's
Leto has given me a bad aftertaste in my mouth after seeing that
man.
movie.
Pun intended.
and
I
it's
never ever want to see Morbius as a character ever again just because of Jared Leto.
It's Morbin time.
But yeah, I was going to
Oh,
say
no.
I think the main issue with it, of course, I think that'll detract a lot of people from playing it anyway, is the fact that it is an XCOM kind of game, card-based XCOM game where it's kind of turn-based, tactical. Probably not what a lot of people thought was going to happen to this game or would be involved in this game.
It's another one of them games that I'll pick up at some point. I'm not.
It's not a mobile game, right? It's
any
a
rush.
It wasn't a mobile game.
No,
was it?
console
It's
game.
like a XCOM cross card game.
Because I remember seeing it. I remember like they showed this badass trailer for it, all the different character models, and then the gameplay thing. I hate when they do this. They show you these dope looking character models, these insane CGI, and then when you get to the gameplay, it doesn't even look like a fraction of that. It's like, why do y'all do this to me? Especially for mobile games. You know what I mean? I hate that. Don't do that to me. Just show the game.
Yeah, they're the worst victims of it. Like,
I don't need to speak about mobile games. We all know how I feel about them.
Oh my god. Can't.
but yeah, so unless you're a huge fan of XCOM style games, then it's likely, no matter how many unbelievably cool looking Marvel and DC characters they put into Midnight Suns, it's probably going to be a hard pass for a lot of people. There's many people in chat that are excited for an XCOM style Marvel game, as we know is Midnight Suns. Of course, let us know in the chat. I know Mr. Joanna Dark, who is excited for every game that is ever released. He's excited for Midnight Suns. It's a pass from Fanto, sir.
Just give me Wolverine so I can be because somebody just move Wolverine forward so I can just see gameplay. That's all I want to see.
Yeah, yeah.
Spider-Man's next year, but
I'm
really
you know what it is?
I can't wait to play
You're saying that
Spider-Man. I'm replaying it.
I can't wait.
As much as I'm looking forward to Wolverine when that comes out, I am equally looking forward to the potential that is Iron Man. Just thinking about the maneuverability and the flying used in Anthem.
Yeah.
Like, I can't wait.
They can make some badass shots. Dutch, like the suit ups, like the armor suit ups, like, you know, like how do you do that? Are you going to be
Hulkbuster armor and everything like that?
Are you going to be at an office? Like, remember the briefcase?
Yeah.
Like, instant suit that he had? Imagine stuff like that. That'd be badass. Like, Iron Man can really be character if pushed right. Like, that can be your, well, I don't want to say Batman, but like, it can have moments like Batman. Like, some of the Arkham's best moments is when you do the suit up.
Yeah.
Especially Arkham City. Come on, y'all remember how how y'all felt when y'all first got into Arkham City? You know, you're playing this Bruce
Arkham
Wayne
Knight as well, when like you start out in the base suit and then you get the armored suit.
Armored suit,
all
and
the
you see like
pieces coming together. That was such a cool scene.
It was like, holy hell! It was like magnetic. It was like cyber. It was so dope. It was like more advanced. It's like, this dude's ready for war. You know, Arkham City. He's like, dude, I need an emergency drop. You're like, okay.
And that's what I'm really looking forward to in an Iron Man though, is because of course we know from the multiple different movies and comics how many suits Iron Man really has. Of course, I'm looking forward to jumping into the Hulkbuster, just like it's this massive lumbering Hulkbuster armor. And going from there, and it's just so many possibilities you can have.
Situation, and
we've seen the Iron Legion that would be I'd be more interested in the fact that you could probably, well, if they do it, call in Iron Man suits to help you fight.
Yeah,
that'd be badass.
And of course, we know if you go into the comics, you've even got kind of a samurai-esque Iron Man suit as well. The Shogun suit.
Centurion. The Centurion with the sharp, you're talking about the Centurion, which basically is made to compete with Wolverine. If I remember correctly, that's what that suit was made for. So he made a suit for everything, even a water suit to explore the depths, because he was like, I think he got bored. He wanted to find a lot.
He's the Batman of Marvel. He's got a plan for everything.
Yeah,
Stark's hilarious.
Fun, and that's what I'm looking forward to the most. To be honest, is like seeing what they can do with it.
Contingency plan for everyone in the Justice League if they went rogue, even himself.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't know about that. I'm surprised you remember that. I remember that. Yeah.
His contingency plan is basically the Joker.
Yeah.
He literally put up he put up their weaknesses of the team, like how to beat them. He's okay. Martian Manhunter. He's allergic to fire. This guy, he's not horrified. Like he doesn't, he's scared of this.
Batman
He even
doesn't
put
kill,
his
though.
own. He's okay. What's Batman's weakness? Easy. Batman's weakness is his family. I was like, damn. He just put all that in the files. I was like, yep, that's it for me. Let's get back to work.
Yep. Yep, but no, awesome chats there. Aside from superhero things, we're going into the realm of remakes again, and this time some awesome news from the team at CD Projekt Red. And of course, today they announced that they are from the ground up remaking The Witcher, the original Witcher, in Unreal Engine 5. Awesome news, of course. It's the 15th anniversary of Witcher 1 today. So they announced the ground-up remake of the original Witcher on Unreal 5 as one of the projects that they mentioned earlier. Of course, now we know that project is the Witcher 1 remake. Now, of course, this excites everybody. Not only that, I'm excited to see what...
Tennis with Joris or something like that, was it?
Yeah.
Something along those lines is now officially confirmed as the first Witcher game.
Yes, I'm super excited. The reason I'm excited is to see what this team, who's been using their own engine for so long, seeing what they're capable of on an engine that is universally pretty damn easy to use in comparison to probably what they've been using, and just how much fidelity they're able to get into an engine that is provided so many tools to be able to do this now. Mick, I want to ask you first and foremost. Are you excited to hear that they're making the original Witcher from the ground up in Unreal Engine 5 now as well, to be able to experience that? I don't know whether or not you've played the original Witcher before.
I haven't played the original. I think we were talking about this before. I think I've played the second one.
Yeah.
And I've played the third one and completed it. Going back to the second one was not great.
That's exactly the same. I'd never played the second one until the third one. And
exactly.
I went back and I was like,
So I am, in a way, I don't know whether how closely they're going to keep it, because I prefer the open world side of Witcher 3.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure Witcher 1 was more like Witcher 2, which is quite linear.
if they're remaking it, I'd imagine they'd push it in more of a Witcher 3 direction.
Yeah, maybe.
It makes sense.
That said, I am excited for anything that's in Unreal Engine 5 right now. I want to see some games in Unreal Engine 5. So I will definitely be checking it out, that's for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. And to me, it's what we've seen that team be able to do on Witcher 3, which still looks fantastic to this day as well. And we do have a little bit of news as well with regards to Witcher 3 next gen update, which of course we're all waiting for. Big Cloud, what about yourself? What do you think about this awesome news that Witcher 1's getting a ground up remake?
I mean, it's the time of remakes, man. Resident Evil 4, I can't wait for that. I'm all in. This right here, it's good.
Horizon.
I mean,
Silent Hill 2.
There you go. Silent Hill 2. You said Horizon. I'm a hate you right now, Joe.
Horizon Forbidden West.
Last of Us Part 1.
Oh, no.
Spider-Man.
Don't start.
God of War 2018.
That shit. Thank God. But I know it's going to happen. I have a feeling it's going to happen. Oh, God.
I bet it is. I can feel it.
I can feel Last of Us 2 getting into by the time we get to that multiplayer.
Yeah.
Just so they can justify charging you $70. Like, hey, welcome to the Ultimate Edition. You get all this. I can already see
You'll finally get The Last of Us 2 that comes with factions.
Yeah, I can already see it. Vin, what's up, brother? Say your brother. What's up, brother? But yeah, it's. I mean, personally, I'm just excited, to see games get that second chance. You know what I mean? This time with better hardware and fully pushed and newer people who never experienced this. Like, it's funny. Like, if you go back to Resident Evil 4 and you might stream that to a few people now in this generation, they might be going, this game looks cool, but it's not really like, what's all the hype, right? Now you look at it now with the resources that they have now on PS5 and Series X, you're like, damn, Resident Evil 4 puts to shame a lot of stuff for how well that game looked. You know what I mean? It looked incredible.
Yeah.
Just with the shots. And a lot of people were complaining, but they killed the wolf. Who cares? The damn wolf was just there as a plot device. Who cares? They're setting the tension with this one. They were more goofy back then. This is a more serious tone. That's what I'm really excited for. I can't wait to see how dark Sattler and everybody is
Yeah.
and Resident Evil 4. But back to this. Yeah, I'm excited, man. It looks good. I can't wait for everybody else to get, everything else. So
Awesome.
SOCOM, come on, SOCOM. Let's go ahead and get that SOCOM. Sony already teased Bloodborne, so come on with the SOCOM Resistance. I'm gonna be a happy customer. I'm turning up. I'm already happy, but I'm gonna be real happy.
They definitely need to remake some of their first-person shooters or reboot them at least.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Well, we all know
Or hell,
this.
get something
Whether
like
or not they
Manhunt.
listen.
Remember Manhunt?
Yeah.
Oh, Manhunt.
Yeah,
I remember
I went
Manhunt
back-
getting
I went
banned.
back and played Manhunt about a month ago. And it was on
Dude.
sale, and I thought, I'm having that.
Yeah, I'm like,
It
dude,
is-
why not just go sign a deal with, you know what I mean? Get Manhunt
Yeah.
remade for PS5 or whatever. Bring it back. There's a lot of great games and gems. I mean, I know we're excited for I think it's IO Interactive who's making the 007 game.
Yes.
Dude, Nightfire is one of my favorite games of all time as a kid, and playing that back then, 007 wise. I would love to see, those love letters, you know what I mean? Get that full next gen push. But, if you're going to deliver 007, hey, do it right. Please do it right. Don't screw it up. Do it right.
Yeah.
007 is that good.
Yeah.
So,
100%. Jen?
I can't wait for the next 007 movie that's going to have Tom Holland in it.
oh, don't you dare. Don't you dare.
I bet it happens. I bet it happens.
No.
Tom Holland in everything. It's
How
like
we go,
Chris
how we
Pratt.
go from 007 to what's that dude's name? Cody Banks. You gonna be the next Cody Banks? Let's not do that.
Jen, what do you think of this Witcher remake news?
Having obviously never played it, I'm excited. If it's going to be more of a remake along the lines of Witcher 3 and that play style, I'll be picking that up when it comes out. It's going to be an Unreal Engine as well, so it's going to look extra pretty.
Yes. ground up remake.
I can see why they're doing it, because obviously the first Witcher game is PC only game.
Yeah.
As far as I know, I don't believe it came to console whatsoever.
There you go, General. Jared Leto is the next James Bond.
Actually, the Witch, it might have done on backwards compatibility.
It's time for me to leave.
It might have done on backwards compatibility, both Witcher 1 and Witcher 3, but I don't think anybody really picked it up or even tried them on console on backwards compatibility. And to be fair, I don't blame them. They haven't stood the test of time well. Mick, you played Witcher 2, Assassin of Kings. And I've played the same thing. After Witcher 3, I went and played Witcher 2 because Witcher 3 was my first entry into the series, and went back to it, and I was like, no. No, it's a very linear Witcher, this. But yeah, this is when we talk about remakes, and we're making fun of some of these ones that are extremely recent that really don't need a remake. Maybe, yes, have a next-gen patch for them and put some new elements and 4K them and all that stuff, fair enough. But full-blown remakes of games that have been out like 5 years, absolutely not. When we're talking about a 15-year-old...
A remake is something like Resident Evil 2. That's a remake.
Yeah. When we're talking about a 15-year-old game like The Witcher 1, which has only been out in its native form on PC, getting a ground-up remake in a brand new engine, because originally it was using BioWare's engine. So completely different engine to what it was on originally. Yeah, it's definitely going to be special. Like Mick said, I'm looking forward to seeing all the games that are going to be getting created in Unreal 5, because there's so many new things in there that we haven't seen yet.
It does seem to be the engine that everyone wants to use.
I think
There's something going for it.
Well, I think Epic are just really pushing on developers to use this engine going forward. You've seen when they announced Unreal Engine 5, the amount of people they were getting on stage to talk about the new Witcher, the series, the new trilogy is going to be Unreal Engine 5. Now they're announcing this. So it looks to me that CD Projekt Red going forward are ditching their own engine than just going full native Unreal. And if they can utilize that engine anywhere near as good as the Coalition, we're going to be in for some fantastic
I really
looking
can't
games.
wait to see what the Coalition are working on.
Yeah.
So excited. And obviously when they get to Gears 6, I can't wait to see what that looks like.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But fantastic news for everybody, especially if you're a Witcher fan. And if you've never played the first one, now you don't have a reason to go back and play the original one just yet. Because, of course, in the coming years, you will have that remake of The Witcher 1 on Unreal Engine 5. That is a separate team entirely that are doing that. That is, of course, a third party. So they're going to be taking care of that in conjunction with some of the devs from CDPR. So, of course, all in-house teams are going to be working specifically on their two major projects, which is the spin-off, kind of multiplayer-esque Witcher that they've got going on, and the newest trilogy, alongside, of course, the next Cyberpunk. But yes, that's awesome. And, of course, we have another much anticipated, highly requested for a very long time, and they are eventually getting around to it. Age of Empires 2 and Age of Empires 4 are coming to console in 2023. Age of Empires 2 Definitive Edition drops on the 28th of January 2023 for console, cloud, and of course that's it. Console and cloud, because it's already on PC. But console and cloud, which is very interesting. Of course, we know Age 4 is coming in 2023 as well. Doesn't yet have anything else lined up for that. Quick shout out to Gameslord. I'm not sure what that is. HRK, and maybe it's Hong Kong or something like
Resident
that.
Evil 1 GameCube remake came 5 years after PS1.
None complained.
Yeah, but the difference there is they made drastic changes to the story. They also added the fast-running zombies.
Yeah.
So there was a lot of changes in comparison to the first game.
Yeah, I think the GameCube one was the ultimate one, I would imagine, to be honest, in comparison to the first one. The first one was great, don't get us wrong, because I played the first one. I didn't play the GameCube one. But I know a lot of people that much preferred the GameCube one because they did add a lot to it. But no, it is a good point. But I think times have changed, to be honest, in terms of the capabilities of the engines and the tools we've got now. And the distance between what we've had. But appreciate the super chat. Of course, much appreciated. And of course, if you can let me know what currency that is as well in the chat, that would be awesome. Thank you. But yeah.
HRK.
HRK, yeah, I'm not sure, but thank you. Yes, so we have Age of Empires 2 releasing on console 28th of January 2023, and Age of Empires 4 coming to console next year. We've also Croatian. Okay, thank you from Croatia. Much appreciated. Croatian Kuna. Awesome. We've also got the news, which for me is highly anticipated, that they are doing an awesome remake, of course, of Age of Mythology, which was something that I said they'd just let lie for far too long and not really touched on it. They released Age of Empires, Age of Empires 2, Age of Empires 3, then Age of Empires 4. Age of Mythology was in between kind of 2 and 3. And they didn't really, after that, they just left it lie and let the kind of community just do whatever they want with it. Didn't touch it. But now they're going back to it. And, of course, we're going to get an awesome remake, a revival of Age of Mythology on PC, first of all, and fingers crossed, much like the Age of Empires games are, come to console as well following that. But, Big Cloud, are you a big Age player? Have you played Age before, and would this interest you?
Never really got into the games, but it's cool. What interests me probably as soon as I get done with everything else on my list of games here, and because God of War literally is what, less than 20 days. Callisto Protocol, like a month and some change away. Then you got
we've got
Dead Space.
Headspace, High on Life.
Too many games dropping. Yeah,
Callisto, Modern Warfare.
In that short. Oh, again, yeah. Did you play that? Did you guys play the single player for that? I heard it was pretty good for what I've seen.
Yeah.
Looks really, really good. They definitely added a lot of improvements. I just hope they nailed the multiplayer this time and took the feedback and fixed what needed to be fixed. And I think this might be a good start.
Have you played
foundation.
the multiplayer beta for Modern Warfare?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Good.
played it on PC and I played it on console.
I really enjoyed it. Really
It was
enjoyed it.
good. Like the way the guns look, I will say this, like, especially I don't know if you guys saw the leaked camos, like for the diamond and the gold
I have not,
camos. You
no.
guys, Dude,
No,
the
not yet.
camos look incredible for it. Weapons do look amazing, and they do like the way your character reacts to it. Like you can actually kind of tell that he's, you know what I mean, like the gun is heavy, like by the way he reacts towards it. So it's really, really good in those regards. I do like the new class system where it's like one gun can be as part of a tree,
Yeah.
so you can like modify the behavior. I thought that was smart because that is how they actually act in this whole thing. That's actually smart to open up the skill tree.
We
for
thought that
the
as well. To be
weapons.
honest, we love the way the weapons now is a kind of it's split into a skill
evolution.
tree,
Yeah.
evolution of that weapon. That okay, once you've unlocked all
There
these,
was
it
some
can
bugs
create
in the
this one.
beta though that didn't actually unlock certain attachments that were supposed to
Yeah.
unlock.
Yeah, like
wild
the
weapons.
shotgun class, you
Mm.
get the submachine guns, and you basically unlock the sub. You're like, no, like I messed this up, but it was a bug, but like you just said. But dude, just the fact that you can like if you're a rusher, you can make the M4 into basically a light like SMG in a weird sense. You know what I mean? You might lose benefits though, like range. Like I thought that was smart how they handled that. It was really, really good. Like you're more close to personal.
Yeah.
So it was good for that.
For the campaign, I really enjoyed those sections where you had like crafting in it, and I was like, wow, this is something unique for a COD game at least.
Yeah.
And it made me think of the possibilities of a more role-playing game type of COD where you are crafting stuff. Whether they do have plans for that is something I don't know, but that would be something I would love to see.
I thought your picture was glitching. And I was like, oh, that's your cat behind you on the right, on the left side of
Oh,
your
your
arm.
cat.
Oh, that's my dog.
Dog.
Is it dog? Oh, like a cat at first. I see, but no. Did you guys see the mechanics in the water? Like you shoot, like you actually see the ripple effect, and like they did some really cool stuff with the engine, with the story.
Oh,
Looks really, really good.
It looks
Really handled it
fantastic.
well.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It
even
looks
if you're in the water,
fantastic.
you don't have to move. Like you're going with the current. You're like moving and stuff like that. Subtle stuff. It's like that's good. Like really, really good. I was surprised that some outlets are giving it like a 6 though. Like for the story, I was like,
You mean
damn, like,
IGN?
Yeah, IGN gave it a 6. I was like, wait, what? Wait,
You-
who reviewed this one?
Have you seen the
I was like, what
comments under
reviewed
that?
this?
You seen the everyone's like,
yeah, I did.
what?
Yeah, I was a little surprised, but I was at least expecting the 8 from IGN. But again, I guess somebody just didn't.
Yeah, that
You know what it is,
baffled
though?
me
Some
as well.
people-
It's like,
Yeah, some people
even the
critique-
worst COD games, they give decent reviews, and it's like, okay. The one COD game I end up really
Yeah.
enjoying after like 8 years is getting a 6. Like,
Yeah,
What?
like I didn't even
Am I
play
playing the
Advanced
same game?
Warfare, or not Advanced Warfare, Infinite Warfare. A
Hmm.
lot of people was like Infinite Warfare is god awful, but a lot of people was like, go, the story for Infinite Warfare was incredible. I'm like, I just didn't give that game a try at all. It's like Advanced Warfare. I didn't give a lot of these games a try, but personally, I'm just like, damn,
Isn't the
that's-
rumors that next year's Call of Duty is a sequel to, is it Infinite or Advanced? I can't remember what one, but there's rumors that the sequel to
I don't
that
think
is
they'll
coming, and
ever-
I'm like,
Yeah, I don't think
Please
they'll ever
don't.
go back. Yeah, I don't think they'll
Please
ever go
don't.
back in
There
space.
is-
We don't
there
need
is,
that.
Yeah.
yeah.
What
I
was
don't
that,
think
Mick?
they're going back in space. ever
not
again.
next year, the year after, I mean.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Yeah. If they go back in space, I mean, you might as well just say rest in peace, because everybody's immediately gonna be upset because you're.
I mean,
basically trying to
if
jumpstart
somehow
everything.
another Call of Duty has a like in space thing, it'll probably be if they do some sort of Halo style Call of Duty crossover.
No, because you already know what that means. Every time they add a space theme and anything stupid, there's got to be something in here dumb, like the stupid, not the heartbeat sensor, but what was that target finder scope
Yeah.
where it basically aims for you. You just
Yeah.
got to move your hand. It's like, yeah, like no.
To be
Didn't
honest,
they
I
have
didn't
that in
play Advanced
Titanfall?
Warfare.
It was-
I think
was
I
it not the-
started it and I was like, nope.
No, it was in a lot of games. It was in Black Ops 2, if I remember correctly. It was
Yeah, it was the
in
one where the
Call
bullets
of Duty
auto, like the
Ghosts.
auto hit. You can just fire and you don't even have to aim at them
Just
properly.
fire.
Just woohoo!
And Titanfall had something like that too. Remember, it was the smart pistol.
Smart
Remember that
pistol, yeah.
dumb smart pistol that shot
Yeah.
around. Yeah, that thing too. It's like, dude, some stuff.
Aimbot the weapon.
Yeah, pretty much like some stuff don't need to be. In
Yes,
the
it's
game,
just
man.
aimbot
Some
the
stuff-
weapon.
Yeah.
But
Some stuff does not need to be in the game, but they do it anyway.
absolutely.
Mhm.
But yeah, Age 2, the one thing, and of course Boxy's not here today, otherwise he would be talking about Age of Empires for years. But
This will
one
be
thing
like
about
a
Age,
5-hour podcast.
yeah, I know Mick's going to be interested in playing this on console, and obviously we can play it on PC. We've all got PCs here, so we can play this game right now if you want to. But the one thing that intrigues me about the switch to console for the Age series is how they're going to work the controls. The controls for me has always been, and it's not some of the basic stuff that you can do in RTSs, like highlight areas or anything like that, because that'll be easy to do. It's the grouping. Like the one thing me and Boxy have been confused about how they're going to manage is how to group, because on PC, of course, you can select your units and then highlight them as, okay, this is unit 1, this is unit 2, this is unit 3, and you just press 1, 2, 3, 4 on the keyboard and it selects that unit, so you know where to manage them, where to put them. How are they going to do the grouping on console? That is my thing, and this is what is intriguing me about how they're doing this port.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean, BitCloud? Have you played much of Age to understand that, or?
Not much, but I know what you're referring to though.
Yeah, it's such a weird concept that I don't know how they're going to get around it. But I know one, of course, benefit of Xbox is the fact that you can plug in a mouse and keyboard and you can just play Age on your console with a mouse and keyboard.
It's getting kind of scary though. You know what I mean? It seems like that's as becoming a little too
PC.
seamless with both consoles, because it really feels like they're just really pushing everybody in that direction. Hey, listen, get on PC, because you got that whole thing going around where you can, especially with the Spider-Man code. I don't even remember, where it's like a store, not store, but like a launcher.
Yeah,
It's probably going to launch, and then there's this thing going around for Spider-Man where it said you need to connect your PlayStation account to get
That's
some stuff.
definitely on the table.
So I think we all
out.
can pretty much piece it together that pretty soon you're gonna see yourself not really limited to just a PlayStation to get the achievements. So it'll probably be like one of those things like where you can just like you link your account and then you'll start seeing them pop, trophies start popping, and then your level will go up. And
See, I'm wondering if
Yeah.
Sony are going to pull the same thing they're doing on their consoles and take their games off of all digital storefronts, apart from their own.
it's a
'Cause they do it with their
possibility.
games.
It's a possibility, but at the same time, there is a big L behind that. You know what I mean? Like a lot of people don't like the Epic Store at all.
Mhm.
A lot of people don't like to go there at all. So if you're going to do that, you got to make sure that store, that launcher, is top of the line.
It's
You know what I mean?
one of the
Yeah.
reasons
You
why
have
you
to
can't
make
get
sure.
PlayStation exclusive keys on any of the key websites that sell keys.
yeah. Oh god, yeah. I hate that they took off
I
digital
wouldn't be
sales.
surprised if Sony do that when they bring out their own thing. It might not be straight away, but if you don't think they're going to pull the rug from under your feet,
Oh hell yeah!
oh,
That's why I was so surprised,
another thing coming.
Jen. That's why I was so surprised, because Jen got a PlayStation 5 not long ago, and he got a digital code for FIFA with his PlayStation. Like an actual redeemable, scratchable code. And I was like,
Third
that's the
party
first
though,
time
isn't
I've
it? So-
seen a digital
That's
PlayStation code.
Yeah, that's more third party though. But yeah, and sure.
It's so strange.
First
And,
party, it's a little tough. Like you have to get that directly.
yeah.
It's so rare to see a PlayStation first party code unless you get it directly from PlayStation PR or represent, you know what I mean, or somebody who represents that game who can make one for you on the fly and get you the code. But really, you don't see that. It's either a physical disc in this case, or it's like already downloaded on the console. I think that's how they usually do it. Like it's in your store. So yeah, you rarely see it. You rarely see that.
Yeah. Yeah. It's very, very strange. And to be fair, for creators like me and BitCloud and a few others, we like doing giveaways every now and again to our chats, and being able to give away codes for pretty much every other platform, but not PlayStation unless it's physical. Physical's a bit of a piss on, because of course with the digital codes, I can literally just get the
simple. You
code,
just
send
have
it,
it.
you've got
Yeah.
it. With Xbox, with PlayStation, I'd have to physically buy the game, ask you for the address, post it, and then you wait a week or two, depending on where you are in the
Or-
world.
Or I can buy like what's that thing? You just buy like the PlayStation points or the little cards.
Yeah, but the problem you've got there is you can
buy
only
those.
buy the currency for that country in the country you're in.
That's true. Yeah, true. You have to like,
It's so
unless you do PayPal. Maybe
stupid.
PayPal. I guess you
PayPal's
can
like this.
PayPal. Yeah, that's
Such
the
a
only thing too I could think of. But even with that though, because you got to think about the exchange, and you also got to think about because when you send money through PayPal, they take something
yeah.
out of it. You know what I mean? So you might not get the full price too. It's like, yeah, it's true. It's always a hassle with that sort of thing.
Just PlayStation. Just do your digital codes again. You couldn't have lost that much on these CD keys websites. Like you can't have lost that much. So just do
I mean,
them.
people
I
scream
think they just don't wanna have
monopoly,
the
but they have a monopoly on their digital content.
Yeah.
Well, it's not just that though. Do y'all remember with the PS3? Remember how like when they had like those crazy hacks that was going on with those codes? Like dudes had the sites where they were just getting you free games in general, where they didn't have to pay. I'm thinking they're having PTSD
Yeah.
when they think of that whole that code thing, and they don't ever want to go back down the road. Because I remember that there was legit full like dudes were brave. They were putting full breakthroughs on how they're doing this on the PlayStation 3. It's like, whoa, yeah. They couldn't stop it at that time. They couldn't stop it, so they don't want that.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, to be fair, it's unfortunately for Dreamcast, that's exactly what happened to them. So as soon as it was cracked, that was it. It was done. It's over. Any game for free forever. The death of Dreamcast. Mick,
Such a good console.
Yeah, yeah.
Such an underrated console.
Mick, I want to ask you as well because I know, obviously, you've much like everybody else here. You've also got an awesome PC that is capable of playing awesome games. Age of Empires on console. Are you in? Is this something that interests you? Are you intrigued to try it out on console when it comes out next year? Muted.
You're muted, bud.
Still muted.
You're muted on your headset. I guess. There you go. Now say something.
There we go. Sorry about that. I think I did one and then pressed the other, forgetting I'd done the first one. No, I'm gonna give it a try. I've got, like you say, I've got a PC that can play Age of Empires. I did touch on it when it first came out. I'm not really a big RTS fan.
Yeah.
Sometimes they click. I enjoyed Halo Wars.
Yes.
And Halo Wars 2.
I think everyone does, and Halo. Anybody who's creating for Halo, for the love of God, Halo Wars 3. Come on.
Halo Wars 3. Yeah, just do it. JFDI, just fucking do it.
Yep.
But yeah, I quite enjoyed it.
Yep.
But I fell off it quite quickly. I don't know whether it was just because something else was out at the time. But I think mostly because I'm not really a big RTS fan. I'm surprised we didn't have Boxy on here today.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He's missed out today. He's missed out.
Yeah. As soon as I saw the announcement about Age of Empires and the Age of Mythology, I was in our chat going, "Have you seen this?
Yeah.
Boxy." So I knew he'd be excited. So yeah, it's something I'm definitely going to give it a try. I think I'm more interested to just see how well they've integrated the controller.
Yeah.
But I mean, you're like me. I mean, I've got the Razer keyboard and mouse that for the Xbox that also works for the PC. So to be fair, even if it does have half decent controls for the controller, I'm probably still just going to use the mouse and keyboard on the Xbox.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, yeah, I think we need to. I think they need to just let go of this whole requirement that it has to have, controller support, and just allow them to make RTSs, because there's plenty of people who enjoy them, and we get a lot less of them purely because most of these companies can't be bothered to make a controller.
Yeah.
You keep your keyboard away from me, sir.
I would say the most intriguing thing about all this, Mick, and I'm sure everybody thinks the same thing, is the fact that they're putting this on the cloud as well. So it's obviously going to be available to play it on mobile, as well as everything else, which is as well. And we'll not mention the last one because I know General C will have PTSD, but they're creating an Age of Empires mobile game.
Bye.
There we go.
Yes, but I don't think it will be. I think it'll be just a native mobile experience. I don't think it's going to be microtransaction heavy, like a lot of mobile games. I think it is just specifically going to be like a much easier, like touchscreen version of an Age of Empires, where you can easily kind of highlight units with like touch and things like that. A simplified Age of Empires experience. Let's put it. But again, the big one for me, of course, was the return to Age of Mythology, with adding these huge beasts again and these awesome mythological creatures that you've got in there that you can kind of bring in to the fight. And that game needed a new version, so I'm super hyped that they're revisiting that. They're doing a nice new remake of the Age of Mythology, and that will be coming to PC first, of course, in due course. There is no date on that yet, and then fingers crossed over the consoles as well. But awesome news there. Awesome news.
Can I just make just a small thing as well?
Yes.
I must have done quite well, because since Marion has gifted me a copy of Modern Warfare, somebody has made a fake account of mine and has tried to impersonate me to get the code off.
They've not
Marion.
made a fake account. They've changed their details because they still have like 3,000 something tweets.
Yes, yeah,
They've
exactly.
changed their
But
account
he's
name.
already.
I've
I
reported
can't
it.
see that because he's blocked me already. So
That's
he
funny.
instantly blocked me once
Ridiculous.
he copied me. So I can't even
I
see it.
reported it, and I also tweeted in
But-
response.
Yeah, so if anybody out there is watching that's in the chat and everything, I just encourage you to look for xdocs Mick29 and just block them, because they've
Report
been
them as
trying
well
to
for
report them
impersonating.
as well, please. That would be great. Thank you very much.
That's
What is this Twitter handle? XDocs?
Xdocs, yeah.
It's
Instead of
the
Xbox,
same
he
name, but
changed-
he's just changed the B to a D.
yeah.
that's hilarious.
Yep.
Welcome to the big time, Mick.
I've made it.
Oh dear me. The next section, of course.
And to that person, if you're watching,
Yes. We're not silly.
To that person, if you're watching,
Yes.
Oh no, these guys, man.
Yeah. But we've got a lot of awesome things. As BitCloud touched up earlier, we've got a lot of awesome things coming up in the rest of this year and then going into 2023. And we're going to touch on kind of everything that's coming up.
Oh, I think that account got taken care of, by the way.
Oh, that was
Is it
quick.
just XDocs Mick?
yeah, 29.
It says this account doesn't exist.
That was
There
quick.
you go. There's you go. It's
I know
gone.
Marion,
I reported
Marion
it.
already reported him.
Marion
so-
reported it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Did you report it, Mick?
I can't because he's blocked me, so I can't
He
even.
blocked
do
you,
that.
yeah. I don't know. Why did he do that stupid shit? I'm sorry.
I think he was trying to blag the code out of
Marion.
for
Oh Lord,
yeah.
I don't understand that stupid shit, man. It's so stupid.
Yeah.
They're that desperate. That's what it is. That desperate
Especially,
to get a
especially they do
free
that stupid
code.
shit. Where they make the fake check mark. You know what I'm talking about? They try to do
But
that.
yeah.
Shit. They try- and some people fell for. I think it was, what was it? Kotaku. They fell for like a fake account for Halo for that. It had like a fake check mark, and he was like, "Yeah, guys, Halo was delayed," and the dude didn't even look at it. He just made a full article. It was like, dude, it's not the real account. He thought it was.
I remember that.
Oh, Lord.
That was hilarious. That was hilarious. And I had
Yeah.
to put out a statement afterwards saying, "Yep, sorry."
I
Our
was like,
bad.
wow, way to destroy your credibility
Yep.
even further.
Yep.
Kotaku.
Dear me.
Could it
But
get worse?
You said what?
That's possible.
Wait, you said what?
could it get worse?
I mean, oh God.
Oh dear
Lord.
me. But yeah, it's going to be a very exciting end of this year. There's a lot of games still coming up, but of course we've got an unbelievable 2023 as well. First of all, of
One
course,
the
to
best
touch
years
on
I'm looking at.
the to touch
First
on the
3 months
remainder.
are stacked.
Yeah. To touch on the
Resident
remainder of
Evil,
this year,
man.
of course, as BitCloud mentioned, in just a couple of weeks, we have God of War Ragnarok. We've, of
Pre-ordered
course,
that today.
for those
In a few
interested,
more weeks from that, Callisto Protocol.
Yeah. you've got High on
So-
Life for those that are interested in that world. Of course, I know I am. I'm
Mhm.
super hyped for that. You've
I'm ready for that
also,
game as well.
again, Midnight Suns for people who are interested in that. That's obviously still coming up. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 drops this Friday. So, of
Yep.
course, everyone's hyped for that. It is, like I say, for me, the best Call of Duty there has been for quite a while,
Very
quite a
long time.
long time. It's getting me hyped for a Call of Duty for a change, and I've not been hyped for a Call of Duty for years. So
8 years. It's around about 8-ish years, maybe 9 is the last time I was this hyped for a Call of Duty game.
yeah, yeah. So that's awesome. So the rest of this year is absolutely insane, and now going into 2023, on Xbox's side at least, we know we've got Spider-Man, which is still on course for next year for PlayStation. We don't know anything else outside of that yet. Hopefully
Yeah.
they will speak on something soon, so we know a little bit more of a roadmap for PlayStation. But
There's
on
some
X,
updates for Deviation Games, Haven Studios. There's a lot.
Factions.
Like, yeah, because apparently there was going to be a showcase, but
apparently,
yeah, apparently, but they pushed it back because of the whole Activision
Activision.
deal. I'm so tired of talking about that deal. But
Yeah,
I really
same.
hope- I just want that to be done. I just want to be done with. I so want to.
See, I find it really hard to believe though, because no matter what, they have to show the CMA what they've got in the works, just like Microsoft has to show.
Yeah.
Well, I
They
mean, they do,
can't
but at the
lie.
same time, but
I watched Hogue.
They can't lie to
Law.
make themselves look wounded.
I watched
I mean-
Hogue Law. I watched Hogue Law, and he talked about that and said if they have actually done that, and Microsoft can prove it, Sony are in a lot of trouble. So that's a defamation of
Well,
or something.
It's,
you
it's
know,
I
deception.
can't
You're
remember the
decepting the practice,
specific
yeah.
name
Exactly.
for it. Yeah.
Exactly.
Practices, yeah.
So if they can prove, if Microsoft can prove that they did have a showcase and that they've cancelled it to try and make themselves look worse than they actually are, Microsoft have got them. They're in a lot of trouble. So I don't. I think that's that they can't think that they'll get away with that if it's true. So I think they probably didn't.
Yeah.
They pretty much have no choice but to legit remain quiet at
Mm.
that point. They really have no choice
Yeah.
until next year or until they get to that first well not not the first release, but until their next deal related game. So
Yeah, but the
I would
funny,
say Forspoken.
I was going to say
maybe,
the funny
or
thing was
Dead Space.
though, Big Cloud, is we also heard that they were kind of pushing on Konami to not speak about Silent Hill remake.
Yeah.
And Konami essentially just went, absolutely not. We are definitely going to talk about this. Here's the live stream.
I mean, Konami's been like a ghost
Yeah.
to a lot of people for years. So I mean, it makes sense that Konami's like, dude, I don't want to wait any longer. I got something. We got some heat here. You know, we got to at least announce this game, because by the time they probably would have shown it off, I mean, again, people would have been asking for gameplay.
Yeah.
You know.
Mhm.
So they definitely wanted to show it early on, just to show you the progression, and we did see snippets, I guess, of gameplay. It kind of
Well,
looked
actually,
like he plays similar
Shane,
to
I was going to
Resident Evil
say-
4 remake. You know, where he was moving around.
So
It
that
looked
Big
like it.
Cloud, the developer came out afterwards and said actually that is all in-engine footage. That is
Ooh.
that is what it will look like in the game. He said that's one of the things I wanted to point out, because that is actually an engine. That's not CGI.
It looks phenomenal. The
Yeah.
soundtrack was fucking awesome too.
Yeah.
They killed it for what they're doing here. The only thing that was weird about the whole show, they announced that damn movie. Why?
I
Let
say
that
I like
movie
the
die.
first one. I like the
But
first one. It just
the first was good.
it
The
needs
first was
Sean
good.
Bean to come back and reprise his role for the second one though.
Yeah.
Well,
Needs-
third one.
It's the third one.
There was a
yeah.
second one.
Yeah,
and
the
it
second one was
It was
terrible.
a stinker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
They had me. They
Well,
had me with the first one. I was like, gave them a pass. Okay, you know what? This is looking good. You know, they're getting the vibes. The second one happens. I'm like, I don't never want to see another movie again. I just want the game. Let's give me the game. Now they're talking about part 3, the love letter. I'm like, oh boy, here we go.
yeah.
Here we go again. Here we go.
But so many games, of course. Like I say, it is the year of the remake. We've got some awesome remakes, but some of them are essentially required at this point. They are very old, and people have been asking for them. And of course, we're not just getting Silent Hill 2 remake. We're also getting new Silent Hills. So there's a lot of things coming out from them. But just in 2023, on the Xbox side so far, of course, we've got that Age of Empires 2 coming on 28th of January. Forza Motorsport is slated for spring 2023. Redfall, Starfield, Age 4 console edition. Minecraft Legends, Wolong Fallen Dynasty comes out on March 3rd.
There was a new trailer for Redfall, wasn't there?
There
I haven't
was.
seen it yet.
It looks fantastic. It looks better and
Yeah.
better every time I see it. Definitely
Yeah,
go
it's
and check
getting
it
more
out.
polished. I don't know why
Yeah.
people are sleeping on the game. It looks like it's gonna be good,
Yeah.
fun party game, especially.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, 100%. Warlong Fallen Dynasty now has a release date. All platforms March 3rd, 2023. Of course, that's going to Game Pass, PC, and Xbox. Aura, of course, by Xbox Game Studios, is also coming out next year. Potentials, the two potentials that are still slated for next year as well so far, Hellblade 2 and Avowed. Not confirmed, but we know Avowed specifically after recent information. Is very far along. In fact, so far along it could have even released this year, and instead was kind of pushed into the 2023 slate. So
You have
it's
to wow us with that one. That one is like the one that everybody has the most eyes on.
Oh,
I would say in
100%.
terms of the new studios. Hellblade. I mean, Hellblade was already a beautiful game, especially in the original.
Yeah.
It looks way better even now because they got like a full budget in studio. I'm excited for that too. So
yeah.
I mean, it's you
And-
got content for sure. You
And
got
those,
content to look forward
on
to.
top of Stalker 2, which is still slated for 2023, the developers, despite being in that war zone, have come out. They dismissed the huge rumors that they had pushed that game back till 24 or 25, and they said, nope, still 2023. Like, we are hitting that. We know what we've got going on, but we're definitely hitting 2023. So Stalker 2 is definitely coming out next year as well. So they've got potentially, so far, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 huge first party games potentially already slated for next year, on top of some other smaller kind of titles or console ports and third party deals there as well. So massive year for Xbox so far, and of course beyond that, Age of Mythology, Ghostwire Tokyo's Xbox port, Contraband, Perfect Dark, State of Decay 3, Everwild, Outer Worlds 2, Project Mara, Fable, 007, as you've mentioned earlier, BitCloud, Indiana Jones, Gears of War 6, Elder Scrolls 6, Kojima's Project.
Wolverine, Deviations Game, Haven Studios. I mean, there's a lot of stuff to look forward to.
So many things. So many things. It is, and of course,
the big surprise, Project Abandoned. Funny how most of these rumors, though,
Has anyone
actually
checked up on that guy?
Yeah,
Sam?
he's vanished, hasn't he?
That dude
doing?
has disappeared off the face of the earth. Because we know Kojima is working on pretty much Death Stranding 2
Yes,
right now for PlayStation, and the other one was related to Xbox. Right?
that's correct.
Xbox.
Yeah, he said he said actually a
If there's
new
any
statement
justice, he's
came
in
out
jail.
about that one. Yeah, go on, Mick.
Yeah. You saw what, Mick? What did you say?
If there's any justice, he's in jail.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, he literally said our game starts with an S and ends with an L. It's like, bro, and then Silent Hill gets revealed by these
All
guys
those
at Konami. He don't even do it.
crowdfundings that he's taking money for that no one's ever going to get a game for.
Yeah.
See, I got no problem with them taking crowdfundings unless you're showing, you know what I mean, what they're investing into, you know what I mean? Because remember, he has like a full launcher on the console, remember? And like, it hasn't been updated. There's been nothing related to that game's been updated. So
I would not be okay with him taking
Yeah,
crowdfundings and never
I
supplying
can't.
anything. That's fraud.
Yeah.
that
He's
crazy?
done it
'Cause you
multiple
only got
times from
one.
multiple projects.
Mhm.
Yeah, especially that game involving the lion or something like that. I forgot what it's called, like Black Lion or something like that. It was like an old project and it got scrapped. But this launcher and now he did it. It was very questionable because it had like playable demos. It said, but
Yeah.
you never got the playable demos, and then you never got the other trailers that was supposed to be part of it. The main trailer that released on the app was the video that he showed on Twitter,
If I did
but it
walk
wasn't
across the floor.
compressed. Yeah, him walking across the floor, but it had music playing, and that wasn't the thing in your.
I
on
remember
Twitter.
everyone like trying to read into that and say it was Silent Hill, and
I'm over here crying
God.
for. I'm like, dude, they're like, okay, there's gotta be more to it. They kept replaying. I'm like, dude, that's it.
Yeah.
Not to this game, not to this. So whatever he does with his game, I mean, hey, who cares? I mean, Hogwarts Legacy, for God's sakes, man. I can't
Oh,
wait
yeah.
for that. I cannot wait for
Oh
Hogwarts
god, yeah.
Legacy.
I've that's one game I've got pre-order. Actually, I've already started my
the
pre-order
Ultimate
list on
Edition.
Xbox now. I've
Yeah.
already started it. Play Store's already there, of course, but I've already got 3 or 4 lined up for next year. And I'm like, even the
Yeah.
beginning though, the beginning of that year is insane. I've got 4 lined
Yeah.
up, and all of them released between January and March, and that's not even
Ah,
including the ones that are not that are coming out in Game Pass that aren't available to pre-install or mark on there yet.
Yep.
It's like,
I
I
just
don't know
can't
how I'm
wait.
going to get the time. Like, I really don't. But it's
Especially
great.
with podcasts, content creation. It's like, dude, I think I might just go quiet. You know,
Yeah.
it's tough for that particular month of
Yeah.
content or
Yeah.
those months of content. It's gonna be insane, and I'm excited, man. It's gonna be good. I know a lot of these games are supposed to drop this year, but honestly, it kind of plays out better that it's gonna be in 2023 because they're gonna have a very, like you just said, a very awesome start. And it's probably gonna go from like an awesome epic start to like a chill vibe, and we get better and better. Like, you know, Resident Evil is gonna be what, in March, and then that goes progress, you know, further.
Yeah.
So you got the content to look out for. It's good.
It's
look for it.
but the one thing we've got is it's so packed at the beginning of the year that we're gonna have barely any time to think anyway for playing games up until E3, and then we've
Yeah.
got E3, like the actual for a
Is anybody
change
going?
for content creators for a change. Like we are
Yeah.
packed with stuff to talk about at the beginning of the year, and then
You
E3
guys
rolls
planning
in.
on going to E3?
Won't be able
Not
to, no.
depends. It depends heavily because if it's a case of sharing accommodation with like the Boom and all of them lot out there, maybes, because that'll drastically reduce the costs. But
Yeah. When I do that with the Iron Lords, we talked about it. It might just go and meet up with everybody there and
Yeah.
you know, be part of it. I hope they do what they did before. You guys remember, like, when obviously we would be considered press media because we cover everything, but remember, like, we would have those, I think the first 2 days dedicated to us. We meet everybody, go to the venues, get some coverage, ask the questions, and then everything's open to the public who actually bought the public tickets and qualify for public, and they can experience it. And that way, our questions are already answered. We can just party, chill with the rest of them, and while they enjoy the games and,
yeah,
and experience it. You know, I think that's the best way to go about it, because that was what really E3 was business back
yes,
then. You know,
yeah.
it felt like business, and then they just opened it up, and it kind of became chaotic. It's like it's hard to find people at E3 now. So
Yeah.
I would hope they do something like that.
Oh, 100%, 100%. But if not E3 next year, of course, I keep saying this year, E3. If not E3, if we don't manage it, just
Like PAX, you
Yeah.
got PAX, you
Yeah.
got Gamescom, you got Paris
Gamescom.
Games
Specifically
Week.
for us, Gamescom's much easier. That's Germany, so it's a
Yeah.
cheap flight over. Then we can do again same thing. We can just share accommodation or something over in Germany, much
Yeah.
cheaper than flying out to LA. So yeah, it's either way. E3's definitely. I'm hoping this year's E3 knocks it out the park, and it is a return to form, so that the year
They need to
after.
go big for their big return.
Yeah,
They need to go big.
yeah. I hope so, because of course then that the year after would be like, yeah, okay, they've nailed it, they've got things sorted. We'll definitely do next year, and I'll sort out kind of planning things and getting things booked and stuff like that for E3 for the following year.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, it's so much to look forward to next year. I'm glad the tail end of this year has a lot of stuff we can still play. Like you mentioned, Callisto Protocol. I think everybody's looking forward to that.
Dude,
Modern
they keep
Warfare
showing
now.
off deaths. Oh my god, they keep showing off the brutality in that game. I just
Yeah.
can't wait, dude.
Yeah,
Looks fantastic.
Yeah.
Callisto Protocol.
God of War, of course. Jen has had his new avatar created by Sean Labrie, which looks awesome. So
Hey,
he's
that's cool.
he's prepped. He's prepped up for that.
Yep.
He's currently replaying through
I
God
got
of War
it mainly
2018.
done for the thumbnails for when I live stream it. But you know, I'm using it as my Twitter profile picture at the moment, and it's my PlayStation profile picture now.
Yes, yes. My PlayStation profile picture is actually me as God of as Kratos, that I had done years ago by another graphic creator called Rocky, who's really cool actually. He's went a little bit quiet now, but he's a cool guy. But yeah, it's I'm so looking forward to God of War Ragnarok. Of course, BitCloud and everybody else knows we're doing that giveaway mentioned at the beginning. For Frame a Game and God of War Ragnarok. It is a worldwide giveaway, so everybody's entitled to take part in it. So you get an awesome display frame and the game. So of course, when you finish with the game, you can display that on the wall as well in an awesome framed display piece. So that's going to be good, and that of course is open to everybody. So take part if you already haven't. It's on my Twitter page, but I am so looking forward to God of War, to Callisto, to High on Life, to Modern Warfare on Friday. so much to keep us busy. And then there's little bits in between as well, little indie games and things in between that as well. That's going to keep occupied. So, yeah, super hyped. What have you had a chance? I don't know whether or not, because I know a lot of people, BitCloud, have had the opportunity to preview God of War. Have you been given the opportunity to preview the first 5 hours or not?
I haven't really asked. Ironically, I haven't asked for it because I just was busy with the Arkham or the Gotham Knights thing. I'm gonna see by Friday if I can get in on it. If I get on a Friday, that'd be awesome. We'll see.
Yeah,
but
at least preview it.
ask.
But are you going for an actual review copy this year then?
I would love to, honestly, just to play the game and get it and experience it. A lot of people, Sony's very confident in this game. I was surprised because they announced the review copies 3 weeks early.
Yep.
Yeah, 3 weeks. That's a good sign, man. If they're that like all in, like listen, 3 weeks early, you get to play this. I'm like, huh? Usually it's like you get like a week, you might get 2, but 3, that is. Either this game is super long, and you need the extra days to go through this game, or they just are super confident that you're gonna love it.
Yeah.
Either way, it's an exciting time. That's for damn sure. I wonder how much that's going to be questionable too. Like, how's Callisto Protocol going to be handled? Are we going to get 2 weeks? Are we going to get a week? Like how long are you going to give for Callisto Protocol? So, but I think they're confident too. I mean, they're outright saying, listen, in the midst of the Gotham Knights situation, hey, you got 60 FPS on here too. It's like,
yep.
More reason for me to love this game. More reason for me to be excited for this awesome game.
I love that, the fact that they came out and were like, yes, we're 60 FPS.
Yeah, it's all you guys wondering. Don't worry, we got that covered. It's like, can I just get the game, please? I just want to play right now.
Yeah, just give me it, please. Please. Yeah, it would have been awesome if they'd managed to release Callisto again, a horror game essentially, in the Halloween space. The one thing we haven't got this year is a horror game releasing in Halloween.
Yeah, I think they avoid that altogether. Usually, like the month of Halloween is like, ironically, we have like a Michael Myers movie. Like it always just like it's got like a specific movie attached to it.
Yeah.
So in this case, it was Halloween Ends. By the way, one of the worst movies of all time. Don't watch that.
I thought the one just before that one was terrible.
To watch that.
You said what, Mick?
I thought the one just before Halloween Ends. I thought the one before that was terrible. Like I thought that was the end of Halloween, and then Halloween Ends come out. I was like,
Halloween Ends is so bad it'll make you look at Halloween Kills. That's a guilty pleasure, amazing masterpiece. That's how bad Halloween Ends is. Kid you not. Kid you not. It's that bad. Halloween Ends.
I guarantee you, it's not the end of the Halloween franchise.
oh no.
Well, it is for Jamie Lee Curtis, but I mean, she said this before, though. That's the funny thing about it.
Yeah, they'll have like Halloween Revival or Halloween Resurrection 2 or something stupid.
When the bag is dangled in front of them, they will take it.
That's true. That's funny. That's what John Carpenter said. If the money's there, we don't care. He basically said, if the money's there, we don't care.
But
we'll do another one. It's like, oh no.
I think, was it John Carpenter that said that he would love to do a Dead Space film?
Yes. I'm
please
all in for that.
Please do.
I'm all in for that.
Yeah.
Like, you ever seen the movie Event Horizon?
Yes. It's one of my favorite horror films ever.
That theme.
Yes.
Right there. Like the way they set that up. Obviously better now because it doesn't age well. But that theme, those dark elements, that could be great. That claustrophobic type of feel.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That can be
very gory,
awesome.
Very gory, very graphic.
Similar to Aliens, so to speak, had those confined little weird reveals. Because, like, the little necromorphs kind of creep up behind you, like, have those crazy moments, that'd be dope. I would definitely be on board with that.
Yeah, but it's
absolutely
fantastic. It's just, so much to look forward to. Like I say, Callisto, we're all super hyped for that. God of War Ragnarok, we're, of course, super hyped for that. That's not too long away now, 2 weeks. Call of Duty this week, high on life. Like, it's so much to play, so much to look forward to. I would ask BitCloud, what are you more hyped for at this point? God of War or Callisto?
man, that's such a tough one. I mean, I would say God of War off of just the fact that I love 2018 so
Yeah.
much. It literally just reinvigorated. Well, my love was for God of War was already there, right? But I didn't think they could pull off something like this. You know what I mean? With God of War back, I was expecting just this like crazy dude going on a rampage. No, this was like more. It was more to it. You know what I mean? It was layers to it. Something that you never seen for a God of War title. So
Yeah.
God of War Ragnarok, absolutely. But Callisto Protocol is so close. It's so close there too, because this is another thing that I've been asking for years. I've always asked for Dead Space 4.
Yeah.
Because Dead Space 3, I honestly thought was terrible. I wanted a true Dead Space sequel to 2, because Dead Space 2 was arguably one of the best sequels of a horror game that we got in a long time at that point. It was fantastic. You had the awesome action elements, you got the horror, and you got the great character, dialogue, and just the voice acting. It was fire, like Dead Space 2. But yeah, I would say absolutely. That's where I'm at with my ranking.
Awesome stuff. Jen, what about yourself? Callisto or God of War? Which one has you more hyped?
I've already pre-ordered God of War, so that really says it all. Yeah, I haven't pre-ordered Callisto yet. I'm not sure if I
Shame on you.
will pre-order it, and I'll just pick it up the day it comes out. But yeah,
I
pre-order
don't
God of
know.
War.
I just wanted it already on the dashboard. I just wanted it there. I was like, nope.
That's what I did too. Just bought it to see the little timers. Like, okay, I ain't gotta worry about it. That's one less thing to worry about. Like, once the day's
I
here,
guess
it's already
it
there.
depends really. If I pick that up day one, if I have the money, I'm not sure just yet. There's a few other things I need to do before I can commit to pre-ordering that. So, God of War was a definite pre-order.
Yep.
Obviously, replaying it. I've been streaming my replay of that, and I'm just really getting into that again. I've been really enjoying that.
Yeah.
Dude, these sex box are hilarious in the conversation.
Yeah, oh god, yeah. They're all over the
Dude,
place.
are they ever gonna fix that? Jesus Christ.
I even seen them in the Age of Empires stream yesterday in the chat there. I was like, oh dear.
Oh Lord.
Mick, what about yourself?
man.
God of War, Ragnarok, or Callisto? Which one's gonna tickle your fancy more?
Watch him say Callisto. Watch him say Callisto.
Stop right now. No. I'll surprise you because I'm not into. I've probably said this in the past. I'm not into Dead Space.
Yeah, you're not into horror.
It doesn't do anything for me. So if I were to choose out of them two, it's going to be God of War because I would actually play that.
Yeah.
So yeah, God of War.
Yeah.
No man, I can't wait, man. Apparently, we fight Thor early on.
Yes, at the start.
That's
It's
pretty
Thor
awesome,
sounds like he's
yeah.
going to be the bolder fight of this one.
Yes, like the mid boss, and then we'll see Odin finally, and Odin will be the end game like approach. And it was badass though. Like, did you guys notice the detail? Like when he threw the Leviathan X and the Mjolnir and they collided, it froze it, right? But they're both like stuck. And then Thor snapped his finger, and the ice broke off, and he came back. Like instead of doing this, like Thor would in the MCU, he snapped his finger, and it came right back to him. That was cool. It's subtle stuff.
The one thing that I liked about the smidgens of the previews was that in the initial fight, Thor berates and mocks Kratos. Like he calls him a really poor, like a terrible father, and he's like weak and. He's like, you're nothing. Like, where is this powerful god that I've been told about? Like, you're nothing. You're nothing.
Oh, dude.
I'm like, I can't wait for this.
Alone.
Yeah.
With Boulder at all.
I loved replaying that. I loved replaying that.
Yeah,
it's so good.
like that
one
whole
of the
scene.
Greatest opening scenes of a game.
Because it catches you off guard. I'm thinking, okay,
you just don't expect it. Like, oh shit, we're being thrown into the deep end already.
Yeah, I'm like, who is this weirdo? It's this little small, little frail looking guy. He's like, oh, you're weak. He's punching Kratos. Kratos like, you see the rage for me to go.
Yeah.
He's like, leave.
See, I'm more interested to see which other of the Norse gods are going to show up.
Well, I know obviously we know Tyr works with Kratos, which is awesome. I want to see how Tyr fits in story wise.
Yeah, there was a cool shot that we saw where he was holding the blade of chaos.
Yes.
Like Kratos probably threw it at him and he had it and then he stood up. Though that was pretty cool shot.
We
I'm
know.
wondering if he's actually going to be like our ally, or because a lot of people, there's been a lot of cool theories surrounding Tyr. A lot of people think that that's not Tyr. They think that's Odin playing games.
Hmm.
I know there's a lot of cool like
Could
theories
be.
going on with that because we did see like a dark, shadowy figure
Yeah.
at Kratos' house. Yeah, I remember like that small, bald-looking guy at the house. So that might have been Odin. Who knows? But that's what I love about it.
And
There's
this
so much,
is
you
this
know,
is the only
intrigue
thing
about
as well
this.
that we know
Yeah.
from the first one. At the end, of course, one minor spoiler here, chaps. You
Yeah.
find out that Atreus is actually Loki,
Yeah, the god of mischief. Yeah.
god of mischief. But of course, how would that? If he is the god of mischief, that means he's technically related to Thor.
Yep.
Technically.
Technically, yeah. Technically.
So how?
Which kind of adds to the point here. I think this is probably where Atreus becomes his own man,
Yeah.
and Mjolnir will be his, not Kratos. I
Yeah.
don't think it's gonna be Kratos. That might be tied to blood. That might be the trick. You know what I'm saying? That might be tied to the trick here, like through blood instead of like, oh, you're worthy.
I'm wondering if they pull Atreus isn't actually Kratos' son.
Yes.
You know, that could be it too. We don't know. We don't
That's a
know.
good
That
shout.
could be a twist.
It's a good
Because we
shout.
saw 2018, for those of you that remember the prophecy, when he's like, "Oh, we're at the end." Yes, we're almost there. We saw Kratos dead, and Atreus was there, and then we saw the world serpent, I guess, come out of Atreus's
There's
body.
some theories that
So
Maybe
Kratos is going to turn out to be
his,
the serpent.
maybe his Atreus's mum went through three other gods before she got to Kratos.
Ooh.
Odin did like to get around.
no, there's
Got
possibility.
around.
There's definitely a possibility because think about it. If y'all go back to 2018, remember how she calculated their journey? She knew they were going to be there and what they were going to fight. Maybe she did do something like that with a particular god, and she kept it from him in general.
Well,
you know what I mean? Maybe, but who knows? It's tough. It's really
So the thing is,
tricky.
she would have knowledge if she obviously bumped into Mimir, because Mimir's well is the well of knowledge. Odin sacrifices his eye into that well.
Yeah.
So how do we not know that it wasn't a similar situation? She didn't sacrifice something into that well, and that's how she knew what was going to happen.
Probably.
It's a good
That's
shout.
possible.
And of course, we've seen some of the mythical beings in there. We've seen Odin's wolves.
Mermaids.
Yeah, Odin's
the
wolves are in there, of
mermaids.
course, as we know.
Finrya. I think it looked like
Fenrir.
Finrya. That's the name of the Fenrir. There you go.
Yeah.
That's
Fenrir,
the
the
wolf.
world-eating god.
You got the two other
Wolf, yeah.
wolves, Freaky and Gary. I think are in
Freaking
it.
Gary, yeah, that's
Yeah.
Odin's wolves, yeah. And then I'm wondering whether or not they put Odin's crows in there as well, Hugin and Munin.
That
Yeah.
would be awesome.
And
We
obviously
did
they
see
could be
some
kind of
gameplay,
spying on
though.
you
It's
from
more
above.
brutal. Yeah, they did say that this one is like they brought back the brutality of like God of War 3 in a sense. And I saw that with the combat. Like, dude ripped off the jaw of the thing, and then the whole half the body also
Yeah.
came off with it. So
Stuck it
I'm
into his
glad
neck.
because that's one of my big complaints about 2018. It was just blood, but it wasn't guts. You know what I mean? It wasn't like God of War 3. Remember how, like God of War 3, it felt personal each death of a god. Whether it be Hermes, like you cut off his legs and you're just letting him bleed out, you cut off his other and you get his griefs, or you're destroying Hercules' face and his eyes are popping out. Like, there was nothing like that, especially even when you were beating up Boulder in that long, lengthy fight. It was just blood everywhere, because he kept healing. So I'm glad they brought that back. It's awesome.
Yeah,
Awesome time.
100%.
I really hope they have many of the other gods in there and we fight them, kind of like the Valkyries. I wonder if they
Yes.
show up like
The-
that.
It
'Cause
looked like
I'd
one
love to
was in
fight
here.
Heimdall. How would
Yeah.
you fight Heimdall who sees everything?
Yeah, I already know what you're
I
gonna
mean,
how
do
would you
like
fight
before
him?
you've done it.
So I've been
Exactly, like-
expecting he'll probably talk to you
Yeah.
like Wesker. I've been expecting you. Like something weird. That's some weird dialogue.
And then you got like the god of all things cold and dark, Hod. That would
Yep.
be an interesting fight.
Unless he's like a plot device, though, maybe we will see Heimdall, but he'll probably be like the plot device that tells Kratos, listen, you don't have that much time. You know what I mean? Like he might be a plot device, something like that, like the trick the audience.
I'm
to tell
wondering
people.
if Heimdall will be the pre-boss fight if you do fight Odin.
Yeah.
Which obviously you kind of have to fight Odin in this game if they are ending the Norse saga with this game.
Yeah.
You
hope
can't
so.
can't
can
go out of
end-
this game and not fight Odin.
Not really, though. Not really. I mean, you can, but you can also just have Ragnarok cost and the destruction of the realms.
Yeah,
And that
because
translate into Egypt.
I was going
That's
to
what
say-
Ragnarok stands for. Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
going to say as well, because in Norse mythology, what kills Odin isn't man, it is Fenrir.
Yeah.
And then it's another god, who's related to Odin, that ends up killing Fenrir. So depends on which route they go. Are you just going to ignore that Fenrir kills Odin and you kill Odin? Or is Fenrir going to
Yeah.
kill Odin and you actually face, I think it was Odin's brother or something like that, that kind of takes revenge for him and kills him? Because essentially that is the fate of Fenrir. Was that, yes, he's fated to kill
And that's
Odin.
the other
but-
thing too. Because now we know Loki. Remember how like he saw his powers
Yeah.
in 2018, like he was shooting like electricity and stuff like that. Now in the Ragnarok, we saw him summon wolf spirits.
Yeah. And you can ride
Kinda
on
makes you
like deer
wonder-
and things like that.
Yeah, it kind of makes you wonder: will he transform finally? Because remember he talked about shapeshifting in
Yes.
2018 with Mimir, and Mimir said, "You're still young. You might be able to do it. What if he becomes Fenrir and he kills him? There's a lot of twists here that we might have in this game, and it's cool, man. Exciting.
Yeah. It's, as you can tell, everybody in chat, we are super hyped for God of War, and
Oh, dude.
we cannot wait
They-
to see what
So I saw the
happens with the
mermaids.
story.
So
Yeah.
even with the mermaids, dude, they look awesome.
But even
can't
just
wait.
I'm
the
wondering if when Odin makes his appearance in the game, he's surely got to be on his 8-legged horse.
oh god, yeah. Absolutely.
It's gonna be weird though. It's gonna be weird to top the ending for 2018. I will say, like, if they ended with like they tried to like something similar to 2018 with like around Thor, when it was raining, it was like thunder everywhere, the world was trembling. He goes to the story like, who the hell are you? And you see Mjolnir with his hand getting electrocuted.
Yeah.
Okay, that's one of the greatest way to end the game. Period. That was
So
amazing.
that's the thing, though. You wouldn't have known that was an ending if you don't go back to the
You
I
wanna
house.
know.
go back to
You
the
just
house,
go-
yeah?
Yeah.
That's
But
why I
I've
was
seen
like,
everybody's reaction to that when they beat the game and then they go back there and it's just like, you know what, something telling me to go back to the house. And I remember when it happened, I'm just like,
that's
yo,
exactly
there's
what
no-
I said.
Am I about to fight him? And it's like, oh man.
As soon as I finished the game and I went back to the house and I seen that end, then that's one of the first things I think I put on Twitter at the time was, when you finish God of War, go back to the house. And I said, no
Yeah.
more, just go back to the house. You need to do
they're
it.
like, wow, what happened? It's like, oh, your jaw will fall. That's all.
Yeah,
That's what's gonna
just
happen.
go back.
I actually like this design in 2018. We got like that cloak over his head.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously he's accurate, but to what he is in Norse. But I'm saying, but no, he looked like he was all mysterious. He had like the cloak over, like he was like he traveled a long way to find
Yeah.
you. And then you see the lightning and everything, or the thunder come out of his hands. Like, that is so badass. Like, such a badass shot.
Yeah.
how do you do that?
And I think it's going to pick up relatively kind of like that in the second one. He still will be cloaked, because I think what you see at the beginning, or at least some of the previews anyway, is he throws the cloak away and he's
Yeah.
like, boom.
He reveals himself, and then he's like, "Okay, so you're the one." He'll probably come at you immediately because he's like, I remember correctly, you kill his sons
Yeah.
in 2018, right? You do kill his sons, so Yeah,
Magni
makes
and
sense.
Modi, is it?
yeah, the brother, yeah, that's right, his sons. So you
That was such a good fight.
more than likely do it. That was like it was definitely was the best fight. Like it was one of the more challenging fights in the game because you mostly fight ogres, the
Yeah.
big ogre troll things, and like aside from
Just him
that,
coming out of like the fog and all that was so cool. And I could try and
Yeah.
predict where they were going to come out. It was such a cool boss battle.
yeah, and then after that you have to fight. It was those two and the Valkyries. Those
Oh
are the
god,
only
yeah,
ones
the
that gave
Valkyrie
me trouble.
Queen. Jesus
Dude,
Christ.
she, oh god.
And they've brought them back for the next one.
Ugh.
They've brought them
They
back.
brought two, right? It looked like two of them were in here.
Yeah,
in the
it looks
game,
like they're
and,
doing like a double whammy and in space
Yeah.
from the looks of it.
yeah,
that
'cause
must
I
be
remember Freya, she
interdimensional.
said Freya was the queen, right? Wasn't Freya the original
Yeah.
queen of the Valkyries? That's
Yeah.
what they were trying to say. And then she gave up her wings, and then the other woman became the queen. So
And we
kinda
know
makes you
Freya
wonder, she
is
probably brought
still
them
in
up.
this
Yeah.
and she's still raging that you've killed her son.
Yeah.
So you're gonna fight Freya at some point.
Yeah,
Bound to happen.
that's gonna be interesting how that goes because you showed her mercy,
Yeah.
and you saved her life, but of course, obviously, you killed her son.
Yeah.
But she wanted that necklace from Atreus because that's the only thing that could hurt her son. Maybe it can only hurt. It can hurt her too. So I don't know.
But that's
how they do
it was just so well crafted, that story, because she didn't understand that her son wanted to die. Like, he got so sick of it.
She thought he was confused and just probably just upset. Her love can heal it. No, the dude couldn't feel.
Yeah.
Imagine that. Imagine that going through your life. You can't feel a sensation. That is worse than death. Worse than life, really. You know, anything. You can't feel anything. You
Permanent
can't feel
life, can't die,
your
can't
chair,
feel.
You know?
Yeah, and she brought that on him.
Terrible.
She brought that on him, and he was like, "You don't understand why I hate you so much. Like, I can't feel anything. I'm permanently living. Like, it's the worst. It's worse than death. So I want to die."
That's like prison. That's worse than prison. You can't feel your body, and you can't feel like sensation. You just can't feel nothing. You're just like a shell. You're just like driven by your mind. You tell your mind to do it, but you don't know. You can't even feel your fingertips.
Yep.
That's terrible, dude. That's terrible.
Yeah. So I'm so hyped for this game. It's and like I say, only a couple of weeks left now. Only a couple of weeks, and we can play that game. And
it was a long journey. Oh, and by the way, everybody in the chat, stay away from Twitter. Apparently, there are leaks for the game.
Yes,
definitely stay away.
Yeah,
New
God
words like God of War, Kratos, and any character
and
name.
even Sony Santa Monica put out saying just mute it all beforehand.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just wait.
Why is always some weirdo who does this? Why? Why do they do this? I don't understand this.
If you want to see any reviews or previews and things, your favorite content creators who are covering that will put it all on YouTube. And if you want to see that, you can see that. But in terms of actual physical leaks, block everything on Twitter. Otherwise, you will see them, and you will. Unfortunately, they know it. So, hey, it is what it is. But that is an awesome wrap up to this week's show. Awesome. Thank you to everybody, including all the super chats. It's been an absolute blast. All the questions, great discussions as usual from these awesome gents here. We will get into the outros now. First and foremost, Xbox Mick. Let people know where they can find you, brother, and what you've got coming up.
Did you say X-Docs?
X-Docs Mixed 39.
Who that?
Yeah, so I am Xbox Nick 29, and you can find me on Twitter if you
the real Mick.
Read
not
read
the fake one on Twitter.
read the name properly. Watch out for those fakes. I am obviously streaming on Tuesdays with Sea of Tuesdays Playcast with yourself and Jen.
I got blocked as well by that person.
I reported him as well. And then usually usually Sundays as well with Sightless Combat, playing whatever he plays, whatever he's wanting to play that day. And I think probably over the next few days, I'm probably going to do a bit more streaming as well because I'm going to be off. So
yes,
keep an eye out for that.
Nice.
No unboxings just yet. I did do one for the new U2's figures that came, but one of them turned up broken. U2's have sent me another one out, but they've also sent one of the missing ones that was missed off the order that was late anyway. So I might just add on to that video and put it all out as one.
Nice.
Hopefully later this week. So keep an eye out for that as well. So and that's it.
Awesome stuff. Awesome stuff. Next up, Big Cloud. Awesome to have you, brother. I know you've been either putting out a little bit of content, but you've been heavily into doing a lot of platinums recently. But let people know what you've got coming up, brother, and where they can find you.
Yeah, man. Like you said, heavily platinuming games, enjoying the hobby as you should in the chat. Play your games, play your platform. Obviously, reviewing games when I can. Reviewed Gotham Knights. You guys see my review. It's on my channel, Big Cloud Gaming. You can also find me that YouTube, or you can find me on Twitter, everywhere else, Twitch. The works. Always fun. Get on the show. Definitely missed everybody. I had to pull up. I saw you guys live. Like, oh snap, they're live. I got time. Let me jump on here. So it was good. Definitely,
it's always good to have you.
But absolutely, thank you. And yeah, man, a few more weeks. Well, feels like less than a week, right? But a few more weeks. God of War Ragnarok. Who knows, man? Fingers crossed. Might be able to review that. We'll see. God of War Ragnarok, and then on top of that, an additional few more weeks, you got Callisto Protocol. It's a good time to be a gamer, and what a badass way to end this year, really, going into the next one. So, very excited.
Absolutely. Shout out to Fireboss. Yeah, Unfortunately, you did catch the tail end, but of course you can just rewind it straight at the beginning and catch the entire show. So I hope you enjoy it when you do catch up with it. But thank you for joining us regardless. Of course, it's always appreciated. Next up, the General C. Brother, let people know where they can find you. And of course, you're streaming every Monday with God of War on the
Every
build-up
Monday,
to the new
and-
one. So let people know where they
And
can find
Saturday
you.
as well. I'll be streaming some more God of War. So Mondays and Saturdays, God of War. Hopefully, I should have that completed just in time for the new game.
Yes.
Probably start a little bit earlier again on Saturday, like I did on Monday. Get a few more hours into it, just so I'm all done and dusted by the time the new one comes out. Don't think I'll have time to like 100% that on PS5, but maybe I'll try.
You never know.
But yeah, you can find me on Twitter, the _general_C, and on YouTube, the General C, and that's where I stream and
Awesome.
make my videos when I make videos. Like I said last Sunday, the Sunday just gone, I had a video I was working on, but I didn't like the way it came out, so I need to redo that. I haven't had a chance to just yet.
Awesome stuff, awesome stuff. And of course, chaps, you can find me everywhere at the WandrinDutch. Of course, later on this evening, you will find me on Mr. Boomstick's Prime Time Gaming and with friends. So, of course, that's later on this evening. Other than that, of course, you can find me here every Wednesday on the Midweek Mix-Up podcast, every Sunday, of course, on the Weekend Edition, and every Tuesday for Xbox Mix Playcast, of course. Save Tuesday's Playcast every Tuesday now. We will get some awesome guests lined up for that. Of course, over the coming weeks, there's going to be a lot of... we've already got a lineup of a lot of awesome people that want to be on Playcast. It's just getting it arranged. So when we've...
Got another one tonight as well.
Boom. So. Awesome stuff. Awesome stuff. So yes, there's a lot of stuff coming up. And of course, Call of Duty releases officially on Friday. So there is absolutely no doubt that Friday...
Take a trip.
Yeah, pretty much midnight.
Tomorrow.
Thursday midnight.
Yeah.
All the way over to New Zealand.
Yeah.
And just in time to play Call of Duty.
Yeah, so we know, of course, on Friday we'll be doing a live stream for Call of Duty for the multiplayer launch. And, of course, we'll be getting the community involved in that. So if you've got Call of Duty or if you're playing Call of Duty, you're welcome to join in and have some awesome games with us as well.
Is it crossplay?
Yeah, I think it is, yeah. Yep.
Oh, okay. Okay. So I got it on PC.
Oh, nice. So. Yes, crossplay. Yeah. So yeah, everyone's welcome there. But other than that, I hope you enjoyed the show. For those of you tuning in after the fact, I hope you enjoyed it as well. Please make sure to like, share, and subscribe. But until next week, of course, have an awesome evening. Enjoy your gaming, and we will see you all later. Goodbye.